I don't know. They always start, like, they send stuff to me, and then 3 weeks later, I get like oh, you actually owe us this much as well. I don't know what it's about because I always pay to get it in, but there's additional charges. So I'm just kind of.
I get that too. They're brokerage fees. That's what they are.
Okay, I have no idea how it works.
So when you get something from overseas, they have to broker it into the country. So then they charge you that fee. Yeah.
And then because they do tell you, they're like, oh, we might have to, charge you more later. But I've never had them actually do that. And then literally, I've just got a couple of letters through, and I dislike having like overheads, like anything like that.
I know.
You know, it's just it's a stress thing. Even though it's like minor and it's so easy to deal with, I can literally just pick up the phone and get that done in a minute. But
I know. Are you the kind of guy that pays your bills like the minute you get them, or do you let them sit around?
Oh, straight away.
Yeah.
Like I like everything done, paid, out of the way, and then no stress, and then I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
A really simple, clean month ahead. I hate having anything like that.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm just eating some chicken and rice. I am eating while we're here, just because my day's been messed up. Because obviously I was meant to travel today. I was meant to go and train with my friend Av Bells, who anyone who listens to the podcast probably might know. Yeah. Have you had Anthon?
I don't think I've had Anthon. No.
Oh, okay.
Is Anth the guy? Does he have? Is he a diabetic?
Yes.
And he has all. I was going to have him on and have a talk with him about insulin and how that affects him and how it affects people that aren't diabetics and blah blah blah. Because even though I don't use insulin, I figured might be useful for people that do use insulin, or if there's any diabetics listening.
Man, I can imagine there's a lot of diabetics that listen to this. So, if they're looking to venture down a certain road and they need advice, I imagine he's a sound person to talk to.
Yeah.
But I was meant to go see him today. Got literally on my train.
Yeah.
Sat down, put my food down, took a picture on my way, mate. And then tannoy goes off. Sorry, guys, the train's cancelled because there's damage to the overhead cables. Whatever. So literally, I was ready to rock. I was going to have a day out. I wouldn't have been back till late tonight, so I was going to have to miss the day. So.
Yeah, but their loss is our gain. So now we have
this is what I think. I was wondering if it was like God's plan.
Yeah. Ian, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Got a good tan going there?
Starting to, yeah. I'm getting pretty dark now.
Is that a spray tan, or are you going to the booth every day?
This is bed tan. Yeah, this is no spray tan.
Man, you're white as fuck, and now you have this tan, and that's from bed tan. You must be tanning like every day.
Yeah, they're closed Sundays. I've gone 6 days a week for 3 weeks straight.
How long do you go? Like the full max time that you can go?
Maxed out on the strongest bed as of today.
Brave man.
The level 6 bed for the max time. Just gave.
It's working. I've never seen like a white guy get that dark.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep doing it right till I leave. I'm just going to get as dark as I can.
Is there any MT2 in there? Any melanotan on the go?
I did one bottle when I started, before I started tanning, just to so that I didn't have that like awkward, like kind of half burn phase.
Yeah.
So I just like loaded the first bottle, which would have been like maybe a month ago. And then I started tanning 3 weeks ago.
It works so well. It works. I did it once back in the day, and this is ginger. Yeah, it went black. It literally went black.
Yeah,
it was like same. It was like yours, Fouad. It was the same color.
I know.
I have a big birthmark on my side, and when I'm normal, you can literally barely see it. And when I take melanotan, it gets like black. Like it's such. I look like I have a huge spot on my side. Can you see? Look.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. That's why I don't use that shit, because I got like these fucking marks, like they're genetic. Yeah. And when I use it, my skin gets all fucked up. So I'll just tan instead.
Yeah, so I just did that one bottle just to like break so I don't have to, do the awkward kind of little burns, small beds, like, bullshit. I just got that in, and I could hop right into the first beds, and I never burned right off the bat, and I just like increased time in beds as I went.
So what's going on? The show's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow.
2 weeks tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I fly out a week from today. I go down the 10th.
You don't have to do any quarantine when you get there or anything, do you?
No, just when I return home.
Yeah. So are you starting to get like amped up or what?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm looking good. I'm looking better every day. So like the excitement gets more and more every day. So I'm like ready to get up there,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I saw this today, and I have to ask you about it.
I'm interested now.
Okay, so you posted this.
Yeah, Patrick posted it, so I posted it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you posted this. Look at the striations, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now
I already know what you're gonna say.
Now look. Now you pose. Striations are gone.
Yeah, but if I squeeze my glutes all the way in, I'll lose, like, you can't see well from this angle. I lose like 6 inches of adductor.
I know, dude, but I'm telling you, I think it matters more.
I don't know.
He likes the walnut.
I'll send you a pic. I'll post one where I'm completely flexing.
I know what you're saying. You're talking about this right here, right? For people listening, you're talking about this muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, people know what the adductor is, but you're showing like this extra thickness in here.
Yeah. So I'm going to flex them first, obviously, to showcase the striations.
Yeah.
And then pop the hips back to try and get more width, which is working. So, I mean, I haven't decided. I mean, like, look, I can see my glutes look ridiculous. So obviously I want to showcase that the most I can at the Olympia. I think conditioning like that and like it's going to be on stage is going to shine through big time.
I just worry that even if you show them that while you're standing in a lineup with 3 or 4 or 5 other people, if they're all pulling forward and you're not, your glutes are going to look smoother compared to theirs in that final shot, like when you're actually in the shot.
I understand, but like this is what Lucas does, is pop his hips back without flexing his glutes, and it's like obviously he does it better than me, but I mean like that's people go wow for that.
Yeah, but Lucas's ass is so big, or he has so much control over it. Well, I don't know, like it's a compliment, I guess, but or he has so much control over it that even when he pulls his glutes back, you can still see all the striations.
Yeah.
So I'm
these are the important questions in bodybuilding. This is good that you brought this up because
look, I completely understand it from both perspectives, and I think the longer I practice it and more control I get, I'll be able to flex them while popping the adductors better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there yet, and if I don't think I have the right balance at the Olympia, I'll probably flex them.
Yeah.
You know, like certain shots, like on my back relaxed, popping in like makes it look 100 times better. Because once I reach it's when I put my hands up, then I lose the tension more.
Sure.
So like in a shot like the front back relaxed, I can have them popped and flexed quite well. And for that, it makes my legs look fucking gigantic. So it's an absolute gain. My back double is the one I'm on the fence with. So I understand what you're saying, and I completely agree.
I just more want to bring it up for people watching because
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I had people message me from both sides of the coin. Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, because I get a very similar issue, but from the front.
Yeah.
So if I look down at my legs, I can flex my quads and they're straightened all the way to the top.
And once you reach up, you lose that. Yeah.
Reach up, they go. And that's why people are like, where's the lines in your legs sometimes, James?
Yeah.
It's just when it depends on where my hips are sitting.
You
It's
think
really weird, but I get that. I do get that.
You guys think that's a flexibility issue? Because my stomach, for example, right? When I did this last prep, everybody's like, hey, your stomach looks a lot smaller, blah, blah, blah. When I pull up for a front double bicep, my fucking stomach comes out. Not necessarily like a distension, but it just looks like
probably tight through the hips and the psoas and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
I think that's what it is.
hard to maintain the hip, but pushing the hips back while elongating the torso.
That's right.
I understand for sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm with how my glutes are looking now and the amount of size I've gained on my legs this prep, especially from the back, I'm definitely erring on the side of flexing them. You know, the conditioning is really good and the muscularity is there. Even without pushing the hips back, my adductors and hamstrings are good enough. So, I mean, it can go both ways. I mean, because go back to my Instagram and I see, I posted one like a week or so ago where I'm flexing them first thing in the morning. See that one?
Where, here?
Yeah. See, I'm not popping them back.
See, I think that looks way better.
Yeah.
I know you're
there. What?
I know you're trying to get that extra like disconnection here.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this looks better.
Yeah. I can agree with you. Look at this picture. And that's why, like, it's like, you know, I've been kind of playing with both. Like here, obviously I hit it one way and then a week later I hit it another way.
I think it makes, you know what the other thing is too? It makes your hips look smaller and your legs look bigger.
Here, yes, I definitely, I get.
Because watch, like, see when you pull it in, your
angle is obviously a lot closer and higher, so it's losing. Yeah, but
I know, but watch, look how much space your glutes take up.
Yeah.
This is such a weird podcast. Really looking at your ass for like fucking 10 minutes.
Just basically,
you're gonna have to.
This is gonna go from "Did you see my deadlift?" to "Did you see my ass?"
Yeah, you're gonna have to create a new shirt.
That's a new shirt. Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like there's a dramatic difference because when you pull the glutes together, your glutes look smaller, your hip looks smaller, and then the quad pops off, and this all looks thicker.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm on the same page as you for sure. So I mean, You know,
other than that, how's everything going? Everything good? Are you craving anything? Are you just focused? You don't care about food? Like, how's that all going?
It's funny, and I don't know if you guys are the same with this. I find, and I don't know if this is a boredom thing when you're not training. Maybe we've discussed this. I find the only days I feel hungry and like craving and antsy is the days I don't train.
Yeah, I get like that too.
Because your caloric expenditure is more on the train days, you'd feel it more, but it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like the days I don't train, I'm like so antsy, I'm starving. All I do is think about food, but then I train. It's like, I'm good. I could train for 6 hours and be completely depleted, but I don't think like I'm not craving and, you know.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a lot of errands and stuff to run on your days off? Or are you chilling at home?
No, like today's a day off and I've been like running around pretty good.
But you're still feeling that hunger?
Yeah.
Huh. I was going to say, like,
more towards the evening, like after 3 meals, like coming like 4, 5, 6 p.m., then I'll definitely start to feel it. But no, I mean, I feel good. I mean, my mental acuity is very good. I mean, I feel sharp as a tack when I'm hungry. You know, I feel like super like go, and really productive, which I like. I mean, especially now, like we've got the shirts moving, we got a bunch of stuff we're trying to do for our renos, and you know, so there's a lot to be done. So I'm happy I'm in a productive state, not like tired, fucking want to sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
You know, well, this was season, I'd be fucking useless.
I'll say this about the rest days. When I'm kind of, what you said is like when you get hungry at 6 o'clock when you have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is about training days. Because for me, like my training days, I'm either training after 2 or 3 meals.
Yes.
So it's almost like I get a couple meals in and I go train. That takes a few hours and I get back. I don't know. And then I refuel. I don't really feel, I feel like it breaks up the day and everything's structured properly.
Yeah.
I feel like when my day is not structured with training, it's just everything's all over the place. Yeah. And that's when I start thinking about food more.
Yeah. The lengthier a day feels, the worse it is. Definitely like, you know, like an average day compartmentalized into like 2 sections.
Yeah.
Pre-training, post-training.
That's right.
When there's no training, you get to that pre-training time and then you're like, training's not happening. And it just drags. And then the only thing you can think about is fucking food. I know, I'm the same.
Isn't it weird?
It takes time, like, because by the time you eat your pre-workout meal and then get to the gym, train, get home, eat your post, it might be 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know, where like now you're just spacing them out every 2 hours. And like, you know, the other day I found myself like, I'm a late in the day kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
And like the other day I was done all my meals and ready to go to bed at like 9:30. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, if I go to bed now, I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. like ready to go. And I went to bed at 10. I was up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, like ready to party, you know? Yeah.
You know what I used to do? I would, like when I'm dieting like that hard 2 weeks out, I would wake up at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I would sit up on my computer on purpose and go through emails, client emails, whatever, for like 2 or 3 hours before I even went and did my cardio.
Yeah. Just
to delay my first meal.
Yeah. Well, what I did, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Like this morning, I was up early, like 5:30, 6 o'clock kind of time, which is really early for me. So I got up and I just got up, did some stuff on my phone, like answered some client stuff. And then I just laid down on the couch and put a movie on. I fell back asleep till 9:30.
Yeah.
And then I ate, and then I got up and did my cardio then, and then I ate my first meal at like 10:30 kind of thing. So
I think the worst thing you can do is start the cardio. If you start that cardio early, then meal 1 has to start early. Then the day's going to do the same shit as yesterday.
Then you're fucked.
And it's always, then you're in that cycle of I'm getting earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
So
I'm
not someone that needs to sleep a ton anyways. Like I'm even in the off season, I'm not like I need an 8-9 hour kind of, like I can be 5-6 hours and I feel great. So once I get even more antsy into prep, it becomes even less that I need. So if I start going to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'll be up at midnight, you know?
Let me ask you this, and this is for the people listening, not for you, because you have a structured thing with Patrick. But if let's say that happens to the average person, would it make more sense to eat their first meal when they got up, but split up a couple meals, like shave a few 100 calories off of each meal and add a 7th or 8th meal?
You could do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Like, wouldn't that make more sense for people than just starving?
Yeah.
I think that's wise. I think that's very wise.
Yeah.
Just
going back to the rest day thing. Don't you think it's weird that your body builds a pattern? Like at 2 o'clock, my body knows it's time to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like my mind, my energy, my body, like everything's kind of primed for 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Like it just, I don't know if that's something you develop or if that's something that, do we have the most energy at that time of the day, or is that
I think it's habit? A developed pattern, habit. Your body obviously knows, prepares itself to have that kind of stress output put on it around that time. So it starts to like, get your nervous system engaged and get things engaged. So it probably gets into that routine of being prepared for that scenario,
Do you think that's
isn't it like that rhythm? It's called saying rhythm, isn't it? Like your body builds a rhythm and then it's kind of, like you say, expects a certain activity output at a certain time of day, and it becomes accustomed to a certain format.
But is that physiological or mental? Like, is our body
Both.
doing it, or is our brain like, hey, it's time?
Absolutely both, yeah.
I think so, eh?
Yeah.
Interesting. So have you looked at the competitor list, and are you like everybody else on earth that's normal and been like, I'm going to beat this guy and that guy? And
Yeah, of course.
Obviously you don't want to talk about that.
I don't care. I mean,
so tell me I don't want to say, where do you think you're going to
Okay, I'll go from this end.
Are you going to be second tier or first tier? That's what I want to
know. there's
first tier,
there's 6 guys I think I absolutely cannot beat. After that, I think it's a couple guys if they go really, really off and I'm really, really on, and then it really depends there. Like, I think absolute best case, like someone fucks up and I'm like at my all-time best, like, stars align, I could be 7th, and I think I'm kind of more like in the 11th to 9th. Do you
know how impressive that is?
I'm not saying I think that's going to happen.
No. I just want to give people some perspective of what it. Can you imagine? Like, I think people talk about it really. I've said this before. People talk about it really flippantly, like, "Oh, he's fucking going to be 10th."
Yeah.
Can you imagine being fucking 10th in the fucking world? And
because I think of this in any other sport. Like, when you think of it in any other thing, it's such like a ridiculous thing. And in bodybuilding, you're right. It seems like it's almost like, if you were, the top 10, one of the top 10, like Formula 1 drivers or golfers, or
if you're a top 10 anything,
tennis players, if you're 10th ranked in tennis or something, you're a fucking superstar.
If you were the 10th best restaurant in the world, you would have bookings for 3 months in advance to get in.
You have bookings for 3 years in advance.
But it's crazy in bodybuilding. Like, he's 10th. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's like
second tier.
I don't know why. Exactly.
Yeah, but I see as well. Like, if you were 10th in any other sport, like you say, you would have every endorsement in the world.
Yeah.
You'd be rocking a Rolex. You'd be rocking a Rolex. You'd be wearing a, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't.
The Olympic final in like the 100 meter. Like, that's like you are in the elite of the elite of the elite. Like top 10, like making an Olympic final. Something like that's just like crazy,
I don't think the money is as much what bothers me, because bodybuilding is a small viewership, so we expect the money to be smaller. Mm-hmm. But it's just even the people that watch, including myself. I've done it. I've been like, he's going to be 12th.
Yeah.
But then when you stop and think, you're like, wait a minute,
12.
There's only 11 people on the planet that do
this. Yeah, exactly.
Out of the, so many people that do amateur shows, the pro shows, that over all these years, and that turned pro and got to this level and then got to the Olympia. This is in the top 10,
Yeah. So, okay. So let's go back and get a little more specific without getting you in trouble.
Sure.
There is no trouble.
Who did you mean when you said if they were really off? Who are you talking about?
Like, I mean, I think someone if like Rolly is like crazy off, he could slip, or Dexter's getting old, he could slip.
Yeah. But wait a minute on the Dexter thing.
Dexter's not off.
Like, no. I'm just saying, this is the only thing I'm going to say. I think because Dexter is Dexter, I think they'll only let him slip so far, and they'll give him a certain spot.
I agree, but I mean, he was 6th last time, wasn't he?
One of the years,
but I think it's
the last, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's his last year, so I don't think they're going to put him in like 10th.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not debating that. I can agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like a really off Rolly, could slip down. A really off Ramy could slip down. I can't ever see someone like Bonak being out of shape. I can't see Hottie being out of shape. I can't see Filler Brandon slipping whatsoever. So, those guys are definitely a lock in that top 5. And after
Wait a minute. You said a 70% Ramy was like 3rd at the Olympia.
Yeah, so he's got to be 60%.
So you're saying he's got to be 60%.
So he's got to be 45%, and I've got to be 105%.
Yeah. Crazier things have happened.
I love it. Okay, so
look, I don't think I could beat an off Ramy. I'm just saying these are the kind of guys that I think can slip.
I'm just fucking with you, man. So
because I think when I'm looking at like guys like Bonak, even when they're a little off, they're still like peeled out of their mind awesome.
Yeah.
A bad Bonak or a bad Hottie or a bad Phil,
Yeah.
Like the worst Phil ever was still 2nd at the Olympia, debatably, right?
Yeah.
Like Ramy and Rolly, I think those are the kind of guys that can be as high as first or second, but as low as seventh or eighth.
Yeah.
Could I say, this is what I'm going to say, will put you in the first tier. My ranking system, right? Because so there is a second crop of guys that, because somebody asked on a previous podcast, who do you have between like 6 and 10?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a second crop of guys. It's like you, Hunter, Juan Morel,
Justin,
just Akeem, Justin, there's all these guys. So I think if you can beat all of those guys, it elevates you into that.
That's really that's where I like when I said there's a first set of guys, and I think if I can, be the best next one after.
Yes.
So like there's that kind of like elite group of that top 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. I think if I can be the next best after those like typical, Randys, whatever, that would be like the best.
Because I feel like because obviously you have these different. This year's already been a success because you have the New York win.
Yeah.
But if you want a second tick, like there's another success that can be there definitely, and that would certainly be what you consider to yourself a success, wouldn't it? If you come in and that like you say, that second group of names that we're saying, that if you can come out on top of those group, I feel that you've stepped up even from a New York win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And that's the goal, isn't it? The goal is
because if you think about it, the New York win was amazing, but he didn't beat Akeem or Hunter. So now he's got a chance to beat those two guys, and put himself above those guys too.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing, I think people who are watching, some of them probably realize it. Some of them aren't avid bodybuilding fans, so they don't know. But bodybuilding is very incremental. So like every year, I think when some people hear somebody say, "I want to be top 5 at the nationals," their first nationals, they get mad at them. They're like, "Why don't you want to win?" Mm-hmm. I think because real bodybuilders know that you have to get in and then move up from there, unless you're a phenom. Yeah. And I think what Iain has a chance to do right now is say, okay, look, I'm the best of this group, and next year when I come back, I'm gonna fucking be in the hunt. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
it's like it's like the football. The football leagues, like how if you win your league, then you get promoted to the league above. It's the cusp. It's almost like the cusp. Like if you win that.
Yeah, he's on that line.
You come out, and then you get promoted into that top tier, like you say, that
the top tier.
The top tier.
Well, it's like we're talking about. There's one top tier, and then
Well, when I did the Olympia in 2018, I was the definite best and won the call out I was in, the third or fourth call, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I was moving to the last group there in the center, and that was with Sergio, Michael Lockett, Juan, those kind of guys, right? Justin.
Yes.
And I won that grouping. So that was
do you feel like that's already done?
Yeah. So I was the best. I was the best of the third tier. Okay. So this is my opportunity now that, I think I've stepped into that next group to put myself in that same spot I was in 2018, but one group up.
Yeah. Nice.
That's
for me. That's
the opportunity to do such. Yes.
That's how I always looked at it when I was competing. I always had my eye on certain people. Like I always considered Juan Morel. Mm-hmm. To be the top of the second tier, like my ranking system, whatever you guys say, that's fine. But whatever you want to call it, the second group, right? Because Juan Morel has always been like there, like he's right there. He just hasn't necessarily beaten like a Rami or anybody like at the very top. So I always like when I competed, I'd be like, I want to beat Juan Morel, not because I dislike Juan Morel, but he was just that measuring stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ever beat one?
I don't think. No, I felt like I should have beat him at the Arnolds when I competed last, but because my physique was a little off, I think they gave him 5th. I got 6th.
Shit, I'm 1-0, bro.
When did you beat Juan?
At the Olympia, 2018.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. Where did he place?
2 spots below me.
Well, you've already established that you took my title as best Canadian, so I've already relinquished it. We're not competing anymore. Yeah. But anyway, no. I'm happy for you, man. It's fucking great. And you know what's really awesome? I don't think people get a chance to listen to this kind of stuff. So you're like, people are like getting a chance to kind of hear how we talked in the back room kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Definitely. But no, really, I'm just looking at this as just a really, really big opportunity. I think this is a huge opportunity for me to really move myself up a level like we've just discussed.
Yeah.
And, me and Patrick are doing everything in our power to make sure that, come game day, I'm at my absolute best and, let the chips fall where they may. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be 6th or 10th or 12th or whatever. I have no idea. I mean, as long as I'm improve from New York, which I know I will be. I mean, it's going to be a good showing for me. But other than that, it's just a great opportunity to really, solidify my name as kind of that next tier of guys, right?
Is there one guy, like, like I just mentioned, like when I did the Arnolds, I wanted to beat Juan, and not because it was anything personal, but he for me, he was a line I had set for myself. Is there somebody that you look at and you're like, I got to beat that guy?
Yeah, well, obviously Hunter. I mean, Hunter's the only guy to have beaten me this year, in 2020. Yeah. So, I mean, I obviously want to, have my
try to redeem that.
My
redemption thing.
Yeah.
So I guess him and Akeem are the only guys in the lineup in that like next group that we said that I haven't beat before. I beat Justin, I beat Max, I beat everyone else in there. Juan, I beat, all these other guys I beat at some point, whether they were worse or better than they are now, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But those are the only two guys. I've never competed against Akeem before. And I'm 0-1 against Hunter. So those would be the two guys that I would really like to put behind me. And that also in itself does what we said of solidifying myself up that tier. So it's kind of like one and the same, right?
I'm interested to see both of you stand next to Akeem. I'm really curious to see what you and Hunter look like next to Akeem, because Akeem is like the Black James.
I would like to see
very, very heavily.
I would like to see me, Hunter. I'd like to see me, Hunter, Akeem, and Rolly all stand next to each other.
I don't feel like Rolly fits in that group. If he's at his best.
I'm not saying he fits in it. I'm just saying I'd like to see where us three, our physiques that are all a little different, stack up next to someone like Rolly.
Yeah. You want to use Rolly's musculature. It's the gauge from his musculature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't look at myself like I'm not like I don't want to stand. I don't care to stand next to Brandon. Like that's not a physique. I'm going to be like, oh, let's see how I look to Brandon. We're completely opposite.
Yeah.
I'm not known as like a shape guy or a bubble guy or a roundness guy. I'm a muscularity and conditioning guy like James is. And Rolly is a muscularity guy, and that's really known for that. So I'd really like to see where my structure and size is now stacking up to someone like Rolly.
Yeah. Well, I think they do a good job, and I hope they do again this year of. Usually when they get the first call out, they'll leave out the top three or something. And then usually they compare everybody, the first and the second group, they'll compare the rest of the guys. So maybe you'll get that chance. You know what I mean? Like it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, I'd like that.
Yeah.
You just never know. It's just the bad thing is you just don't know. Like you just don't have a clue.
James, how do you feel chomping at the bit? Because you're like,
I feel fine because I'm really content with knowing that I can sit on my ass right now, play my PlayStation 5 and wait.
I know, but be honest. Isn't there part of you that's
honestly, I would love to do exactly what Ian's doing. I'd love to go there and really finally to find out where at the end of this year I stand currently.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of I feel that like with Ian is in his bodybuilding ahead of where I am in his career with his achievements.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the back seat for a minute because I think next year I'll kind of be where Ian is this year.
No, it's not. I'm not saying anything about the back seat. I'm not saying about the back seat.
No, but that's how I feel. Like I feel really happy to watch people I know compete and just kind of analyze from the sideline and just try to put together a plan. I'm not like, I need to be there.
No. I don't mean it that way. I guess I just mean like even talking to Ian about it and seeing the tan on his face.
I'm like, I miss it.
I got to formulate a plan to get back. It's a thing, right? Like I think if you've been a bodybuilder for a long time, I don't know. I wonder how some of these guys that have retired, like I wonder how Dorian Yates. Well, maybe he's achieved so much that he doesn't care. But
Dorian
bad example. Yeah, bad example.
Well, no, but Dorian was heavily depressed after his retirement because it was forced.
Yeah. That's true too.
So he probably did. He must have really suffered. Yeah, he must have really suffered for a long time as well.
But I wonder if somebody who maybe didn't achieve such greatness. I wonder if they look, and they go, "Fuck, I wish I could." Or is it just because I'm still kind of close, or I'm like I still think about it? I wonder if like when you fully retire, if you just don't care anymore.
Maybe that's all it is. Maybe this is your own kind of feelings towards it. Yeah,
it's totally my own feelings.
You're just pushing them on me, bro.
No, I'm not pushing them on you anymore, Jay. I know. I'm just having the conversation out loud, I guess.
Yeah, I understand where James. If I was in James' position too, I mean, I would obviously you'd want to be there and be excited, but I wouldn't be like, ooh, I need to be there because I mean, he's got that opportunity already lined up for next year. You proved yourself as a top. You made leaps and bounds this year. You set your name in there. You really. you know, moved up that to that next echelon, and now you have an entire to improve and really make a stamp at the Olympia, right? So I mean,
yeah, and as you know, Ian, like these things don't happen without a massive conversation.
Yeah,
you know, like the words with the team. You know, you sit down and you speak with Patrick, and you know, you've discussed every possible route, and it's just that this route is the most common sense and the most smart one to do for us.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all you can do, isn't it? Okay, fine. I'm going to put some more feelings on you, James. What about this? What about when the show happens? Because this has happened to me. So I've skipped a show for whatever reason. Then the show happens and you look at it and you're like, fuck, I could have been this place or that place. Is that going to happen or no?
You never know. A lot of people could come in really bad. You just don't know.
Like if let's say you watch the Olympia and like half the guys are off. Are you going to look and go, fuck, I could have been like fifth?
Yeah, maybe because of the financial gain.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have been like, that check would have been nice right now.
Yeah.
But,
you can also look at that from the other end. Then maybe he would have gone. James might have been off. You know, like
exactly.
I could end up off, or you know, and then you kill like that steamrolling of a year that momentum you had.
You killed the hype.
And that's what it was. Like I had this discussion, you know, with many people, and it's like right now I just want to keep my stock where it's up, and go away, and then just make sure the next time is kind of the same kind of. Yeah, because I'm very confident with time it will continue to go in that trajectory. I just didn't know. I didn't feel like it's as likely to keep going in that trajectory when the current circumstances of everything in the world, from where I am in the world and where I live, didn't really meet. Yeah. So I was like, you know what?
Hype, or as you say, stock is a real thing. Like because I remember when I took third at the Flex Pro, I wanted to wait. I was like, I don't want to do anything right now. I'll do something else later in the year.
I'm holding this.
Yeah, because I'm like, I just beat Dennis Wolf, right? So I'm gonna fuck it up. Like, I'm gonna ride this shit out, right? Yeah. And then Hani was like, no, we should do the Arnolds. And it was 2 weeks later. And I'm like, Hani, we do the Arnolds, and I get my ass kicked. My stock goes from fucking here to here. I'm like, let's just ride it out, because I had contract negotiations coming up. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna ride out this fucking high so I can ask for more money.
I just beat Dennis. You got
yeah, that's right. So I ended up doing our fucking Arnolds, and the pressure of the Arnolds got to me, and I did not look my best. And I don't think I was really way off, but I was a little off, and I ended up in like 10th or some shit. And I couldn't ask for more money. I got the same contract the following contract was the same amount of money.
It's that bullshit. You're only as good as your last showing.
You are only good as your last show. It's totally true.
Hold on to that last show.
I think that's why I want to do one more. I'm going to find a show with like nobody in it and win, and then I'm going to walk away and be like, fuck it, I'm out.
He'd be like, but where did you come in your last show?
I won.
Okay, first.
That's fucking hilarious. All right, well, I'm excited, man. I might come to the show. I want to see how you do. James, you're obviously you're stuck in the UK. You can't do anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If I don't go to the we should commentate it.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, if I'm awake.
Well, you're not going to be awake? You're not going to stay up for the Olympia. Are you serious?
Oh, mate, I fucking need my sleep, bro.
Wait a minute. Are you that much of a bodybuilder? You're like, I can't lose my gains. I'll miss the Olympia. Fuck it. I got to go to sleep.
Listen, for Ian, I might watch it. But for anyone else, I'm fucking. We're all friends here.
All right. Well, if you do stay up, I think
I'm gonna have to now. Because everyone's watching this shit, and they're gonna be like, James, you're not proper. You're not real. If you don't fucking stand up bodybuilding.
More social pressure.
Yeah.
Well, if you do stay up, we should commentate it. That way people can watch our commentary. Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Okay, let's get through some questions. What are some physical changes to your body that come deep in prep that you use as a measuring, saying, okay, almost there? So what's like a measuring stick you use, Ian or James, when you're like getting to a show? What do you look at to?
Do you want to go first, Ian, or John?
I have a thing with feeling the skin on my lower abs. I'm like always like touching my stomach to feel how deep my belly button is. So like the more flat it gets, when I have no belly button left, and it's just flat. Like when I can shave my stomach and it's just right over the belly button as if it wasn't there, I'm like, I'm getting fucking peeled now.
Yeah.
What about you, James?
Mine's when I wipe my ass and I don't even have to spread my cheeks anymore. you know when you're like, you've lost so much fat on the inside? It's so true, don't it?
I said that on a previous podcast when I'm in the shower.
Off season, your bum's
We had this conversation, and Melissa was in the background, and she was so amazed I didn't throw her under the bus, so I'm going to do it now anyways.
Go on.
When you said that about the butt thing, Melissa, this would have been 2018, she was like super lean. And Melissa doesn't have like a big ass to begin with.
Yeah.
And she was so lean that when she would go tanning, she burnt her butthole.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's how little fat there was, that she would like lay in would be so exposed that she could burn it right in her butthole.
That's got to be pain.
Yeah.
It's so true though.
But James, we had this kind of conversation a few podcasts ago. Yeah. I said one of my indicators when I was taking a shower, if I could get the soap in my crack without trying.
Oh, literally, yeah, just it goes in, just stuff in there. I know exactly that.
That's fucking hard though. Off season, man, like that's a task. Like,
off season, I got to lift one cheek out.
Yeah.
And then
right in. Yeah.
But for me,
I like that feeling though.
It is a good feeling. And then once I was done this last prep, I'm like, I could tell I was getting fatter because I'm like, oh fuck, I'm having
My other one is when I sit to go to the toilet. If I go to the toilet and I look at the depth of the line in the side of my thigh.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I get a deep line there, and then like as the off season progresses, like you said, once that line starts to disappear, I get really upset.
Yeah.
I'm like,
for me, I hold most of my fat in my low back. So once I can, you know, when you turn to the side, you can see your lat like tuck into your hip.
Yeah.
Once I start to feel that, like, once I can start to see the lat bend, then I'm like, I'm getting in shape.
Yeah.
Do you like? Yannicka says it to me all the time. Like, I'll come in from like, let's say, because I still do cardio like you do, and you know, like when your skin kind of hangs over your belt buckle or your waist a tiny bit.
Yeah.
She always says that. She always says that's fat. Like she goes, "Oh, you're getting fat." Like, and I'm like, no, it's just fluid. Like I think it's just fluid.
Well,
but then that's me just in denial. I'm in denial.
No, I've seen how lean you are. For you, it's fluid. For me, it's fat. I actually have like a muffin top going on right now. It's
fat when it's fat when you rest your hand on it and it's really cold.
Yeah.
Is that real? Or are you just fucking around?
There's no blood flow. When it's fat, there's no blood flow to there, is it? It's just fat. It's not muscle.
I always felt like if it was thicker, like, you know, if you squeeze like that, you know, when you're shredded, but you still have a
Yeah.
You can, it's like really thin. That's
if the skin goes, like an eyelid, like the skin goes on skin rather than something in between.
Yeah. When it's fat though, it's all like clumpy, right? Top 5 health supplements.
Fish oil.
Fuck me.
Fish oil is a good one.
Probably number 1, to be honest.
Which one's number 1?
I would say fish oil for anyone. Like if we're just talking broad spectrum, anyone that doesn't train or use PEDs, fish oil is like the number 1.
Okay, let's narrow it down. Let's narrow it down. Let's narrow it down to bodybuilders that use let's 5, but let's narrow it down to bodybuilders that use PEDs.
Okay, so fish oil is still up there for sure.
Yeah, I would say vitamin K2 for your heart.
Yeah, like what I get is I get the K2 D3 blend.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Now it makes a blend, and I just get that, and that's like covers both. So
yeah. I have the same one, and then I'd go, like James said, astragalus for kidneys.
Yeah, I always take all year citrus bergamot. That's like something I always take.
That's another great one as well.
Yeah, I also like curcumin for inflammation.
Yeah, always. That was the next one I was going to say. Yeah.
So that's 5 right there. Is there anything else?
They are literally like the top ones.
What about
acetylcysteine or TUDCA or something for a little liver?
Yeah, for liver. Yeah. Liver.
So NAC, TUDCA, and then would you say? I think vitamin C is a good staple, right? Like 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
Antioxidants. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good list. That's a good list.
If anyone, that list there is fun. If you posted that list and people did that, I think they'd.
The only other one, I think Dante Trudel, who's a fucking genius and has all the experience in the world in bodybuilding, so I trust him, is picogenol.
Yeah, I take that.
That goes with your astragalus for kidneys.
Does that have another name, or is that the only name for it?
I think maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's PYCO. Is that how you pronounce it?
I say it. I don't know if we're both saying it wrong.
Yeah. I actually don't think I've ever heard of that before now.
Yeah, go to Dante. If you look at Dante's page, I'll send you the link to it.
I appreciate that.
If you guys are out there watching, if you guys want like detailed information from like somebody who actually is involved in bodybuilding and actually has coached bodybuilders and understands like what our bodies go through, follow Dante Trudel.
Yeah, he does know a lot.
And he does his due diligence with like proper studies and like the look, like really looks in depth at these things. I mean, he's not just glazing over shit. He's doing his research.
But the reason I like Dante is he's not just like just a science guy, right?
Yeah.
Like
he's a good marriage between the two.
Yeah, he's been a bodybuilder. He's coached bodybuilders. He's very, very health conscious. So anyway,
extremely practical.
Yes,
so he does the thing. Yeah.
Favorite cheat foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner specifically.
You know what I've honestly been fucking, and I'm not like a food craving guy, but like we were saying on the off days, I've been fucking just craving McDonald's breakfast sandwiches so bad. Sausage ones.
They're so good.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's all I want. I could eat 25 of those right now, I swear.
Yeah, you can't beat them. Because they're not filling, so you can have a lot of it and enjoy it.
The only one I'll compare it to is the Tim Hortons breakfast sandwich.
Either way, I'm good with that too.
Yeah.
I won't complain. Give me either one.
Why is that your what happened? Something trigger it?
I don't know. No, I didn't see it anywhere or do anything. I mean, maybe. I mean, we went to Toronto the other week because it was nationals supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
And we had booked a big Airbnb, so we're like, well, the show's canceled. Let's just go down anyways, and we'll just go train at Pier or something. Because we couldn't get a refund on the Airbnb. And obviously, when you're with a bunch of people that aren't dieting, like Melissa's not, and my friend Julian came with us and stuff, you're going through Tim Hortons drive-thrus or Starbucks drive-thrus, and like they're eating breakfast sandwiches and stuff. I think that might have been where it originated from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was really when we had started to kind of push the food down a little bit and make an initial push. So I think that combination of like starting to get a little hungry, plus sitting in the car with that smell. It's just been like resonating in the back of my mind ever since then.
That's how it always gets me. Something will happen.
Yeah.
And then that food will be stuck in my head for the rest of my prep.
Yeah.
It's like
that's the one. Like it's the only one that like keeps coming back. Like I'll have momentary, I'm like, ooh, I want Doritos, or ooh, I want this, or you know, but they fly off into the wind.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks straight, all I've been thinking about is fucking McDonald's.
What about you, James? What's your
do you know what? It feels like forever ago. I'm kind of finding it really hard to think about what I missed.
Yeah.
Because I'm eating quite a lot of food now, and I'm not really missing anything. The only thing I crave at the minute is coffee, but not coffee, normal ones, like the gingerbread lattes and stuff.
I see. Yeah. Hey, do you guys ever
like that?
Do you guys ever have a cheat meal that you like planned out or you thought was going to be really good and you eat it and you're like, that sucked?
All the time.
A lot of times.
Right? That happens to me all the time. It always sounds like such a good idea. And then I'm like,
I don't have many cheat meals, but in the off season, Melissa's a big foodie. So she'll like go on Instagram and find these places and find these meals. And she like, it's like over assesses it, you know? Where like, I'm just like, yo, fucking Old Faithful, Five Guys, giver. It's never bad. Yeah. She'll find these like fancy burger places downtown. You go and like 7 times out of 10.
Disappointed.
You know?
Yeah, I find that a lot. And then it's so weird because then you think, I should have just eaten my chicken and rice because at least I don't taste it.
100%.
100%.
You know what's never, ever failed me? I make a pasta with pasta sauce and meat sauce with a little bit of olive oil.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like a cheat meal because of the pasta sauce and whatever. And I'm like, it never, ever lets me down. Yeah. And I'm like,
down?
What's that?
Boards, bro. Never. I've never had a bad one in my life.
You know what? You got me doing.
They could be Ritz crackers and fucking shitty Walmart cheese, and I'd be happy as a.
You got me doing that now. You know that, eh?
Oh, that's the good stuff, man. Yeah.
But I added in fruit.
Really? Yeah,
I like
a little fruit. Yeah,
I like fruit with
grapes or like.
Well, like grapes and cheese are good together. Like if you get like if you get like an old cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
With like a grape, it's good. So
sliced apples are good. Grapes are good.
Yeah.
You can do like the fruit preserve kind of stuff. I mean, there's lots of things.
Arabs do. I think it's Spanish cheese and watermelon.
Oh.
They go together. They go together.
Yeah.
They go together really well. It's like refreshing because Spanish cheese is not really strong.
No, it's very mild.
Yeah. So. Yeah, anyway, you got me doing that now. So at the beginning of all my cheats now, I have some cheese and some fucking crackers, and I'm like, fuck.
The amount of fucking charcuterie boards I get tagged in on Instagram now, and I just queued it up again. So now as I'm getting into the fucking heavy lifting here of dieting, it's going to be just getting on my Instagram. Like,
It's weird because I didn't realize the rest of the world liked the whole like cheese boards and stuff because in England, it's really normal to have that like as a after dinner thing or like a late evening thing. I didn't really realize. But now, like, obviously, everyone does it.
I don't know about other Arab families, but my fucking family, we always had olives, cheese, like a little bit of like an aperitif or whatever, like on the table at all times. Every dinner, every breakfast is always.
I'm like you, James. I come from a very, very British family. Like my mom didn't even move to Canada until she was in university, right? So, I mean, that was always, those kind of foods have always been like a staple in my life, like, you know, cheese and crackers, you know, after dinner like that. So that's always been a part of my life. So there's a nostalgia factor coinciding with the taste, you know?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How are you with Lunchables?
I mean, I could, right now they sound fucking delicious.
I love
in the off season, I don't think I would ever go for a fucking Lunchable.
I love Lunchables. They're fucking awesome.
Are these the Dairy Lee Lunchables?
You know, the ones that are like a little square and it has like crackers and cheese.
Yeah,
and
cheese. Oh, but it's like processed to fuck.
Yeah.
I used to eat those in like grade 4. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Look, I don't know if this is because I grew up poor. Like my family didn't have a lot of money growing up. But I crave the shittiest food. Like I like Lunchables. I'm like, it's fucking good.
So did you get Lunchables when you were a kid, or was that
no, that was too fancy. We got like
they were too
bologna sandwiches. We got bologna sandwiches. I was like, can we get the Lunchables? And she's like, no, the whole pack of bologna. You know, you get that pack of bologna?
Yeah.
Got like 300 slices of bologna in it.
Yeah.
She's like, that whole pack of bologna costs as much as that one pack of Lunchables, and it's going to last you 300 days.
Yeah.
So that's how we grew up. So
economical.
This was beans on toast for me. Beans on toast.
That's a normal thing in the UK, though, isn't it?
Yeah, very normal, and very cheap. So you know, when your parents haven't got much money, it's a very easy to throw together. And then if you want to add a little bit of, well, I don't know. I think you can't really add anything to it. But beans on toast was always a staple. Always
did you grow up with money, James, or no? No, right?
No, because it was only my mum. So
that's right.
She worked it was like a 2-job. House nearly got taken away because of the mortgage. She couldn't afford it. So it was really tight, really tight.
Yeah, we moved. I remember growing up in like a regular home, and then my dad got laid off at his job. We moved to like government housing, like a little apartment, a little townhouse thingy.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
It makes you feel about. Sorry, I was just before you.
No, go ahead.
It just makes you appreciate the life that your parents have lived before you, and now that we're men ourselves, like you start to respect those things, don't you?
Somebody might get mad at me for saying this, but I feel like when you grow up poor, you have you're built with a lot of character because you learn. I don't know if it's because you learn to appreciate things or you learn to go through things that other people don't necessarily have to. Like my nephews, for example, they have every fucking toy, every iPad, iPhone, they both got. A couple of them got cars when they turned 16. I'm like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Like, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if you appreciate things or you're built the same way when you're handed everything.
Yeah, I think there's obviously, sometimes I actually feel even more sorry for people like that because they miss out on some of the things that are more deep.
Yeah. It didn't feel like it when I was young though, because I was like,
oh, of course. When you go for it, you're like, no, why is everyone else got it, mum? Fucking hell. Yeah.
I had one He-Man figure. Like my buddy had like every toy you could fucking imagine. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, this fucking life sucks.
I would have been kind of my parents both always made pretty good money, but my parents got divorced when I was pretty young. So then it went from like, you know, 2-income family, you know, to two with single incomes. So then it was like, you know, I was very middle class once my parents got separated. I mean, it was like, you know, it was never nights where it was like, oh, we're not going to have food on the table, but it was, you know, like I wasn't like getting cars at 16 or, you know, any toy I wanted. Like I was kind of just in the middle, you know.
How old were you when your parents got divorced? I didn't know your parents got divorced.
9.
9. Did it suck or were you like, this is cool, I get 2 Christmases?
Yeah, at first I thought it was cool because I got you Christmas.
Always looking at the bright side.
I mean, it's very different. It's interesting too. I mean, I've had this conversation a lot the older I've got. I mean, it's very different people's perspective of things because my sister's perspective of my parents' divorce was vastly different than my own.
Yeah,
you know, she sees it as like a very, you know, tumultuous turmoil, like, you know, bad time where, you know, I didn't see it that way, and I don't feel like as a person it affected me in the same way that it affected her.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, it affected us very differently. And as I've got older, obviously, you know, I've learned more about it, and I've, you know, had an appreciation for, you know, what my parents were going through at the time. But at the time, no, I didn't, you know, at the time being a young kid, it was just like, okay, if that's what you feel you need to do and cool. And it was for me because my dad, when my parents were married, I lived kind of like out in the boonies, you know, like I lived on like an acreage property kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So then when my parents split up, my mom moved into town where all my friends lived. So it was like, now I'm in Canada, I'm in town. Cool, you know?
Yeah.
So I had that benefit, you know, being close to my friends. But I mean, it was, it's obviously never like a fun time, but it wasn't like a super negative time in my life by any stretch.
It's funny though, because perspectives do matter, because I have 3 brothers and a sister, and my recollection of our childhood is different. Sometimes, like when we're talking, sometimes they think I'm crazy. They're like, I don't remember that, and I'm like, well, that's how it was for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
we have these conversations all the time, and my sister's recollection of things is completely different than mine.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I think I had a different understanding of like kind of the scenario that went on with my parents' divorce. So I think I had a little bit of a different outlook from it. An outlook of maybe a little more empathy than she did, where she was just kind of like, I think took it as more of like a selfish thing. So that outlook is different. Obviously, as we've got older, I mean, it's fine, but at the time it was definitely, and as we look back at it, our perceptions of it are vastly different. Yeah.
I wonder what does that, because you figure like facts are facts, right? Yeah. So I'm like, but they're not, because
people remember things and have recollections that I don't even recall, and she'll remember, parents doing this or fighting this. And I'm like, I don't think that ever happened. Like there's such different recollections of things, and that obviously skews the perspective of the entire scenario differently for people, right? So,
James, do you have a brother? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I've got a sister who's 2 years older, and I was going to say maybe age is sometimes a factor, because I don't know if it's so much the gender thing or more the age thing, because I think a young mind is so and like where I'm younger, I feel like I created a lot of my history, like through thought, like what I think happened, being that little bit younger. So I wonder if my sister knows more of the facts versus what I feel like, I felt.
You're right, but in my case, it's the complete opposite, because my sister's, we're pretty close in age. She's 18 months, but I think hers is a lot more self-generated, where mine is a lot more based on facts.
That's what I mean, and that's the same age gap as I have with my sister, roughly.
Yeah.
It's enough divide in time for that to be the case.
Yeah. When you say, James, when you say you created your history, do you mean like you created a history that you was more favorable to you, or why is it something you created?
In a sense that whatever thoughts you kind of have in your head, if you continue to feed them, it becomes truth.
Becomes a reality.
So in a sense of like my opinion of my dad, like if I continuously progress an opinion in time, it becomes stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
I spent years thinking my dad was in the right, even though he left, because I looked up to him as a man.
Yeah.
So I was kind of denying truth.
You're literally speaking to my exact same scenario, but from the complete opposite side, is what my sister felt with my mom and what I felt with my dad. Where she had a positive or opinion versus one versus the other, but she didn't have the same fact. So it makes a completely different thing. It's like, one person thinks, oh, this parent could do no wrong, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's as you get older, I mean, it obviously changes, but you completely, once you have that idea in your head, you develop it over time, it becomes that reality, right?
It does. And like, I almost felt as if, because I didn't look at it for what it is. Like, I'm not looking at it like my mother's here holding on to everything that we have to keep everything going forward, to keep us alive. I looked at it like, oh, my mum, you've pushed my dad away.
Oh, okay.
So my opinion, my inner opinion of being a young man, for so many years, I just thought, I feel sorry for my dad. I feel sorry for my dad. And then you're
literally saying the exact same scenario, just swap parents for me. Identical. Yeah.
It's funny. I can, the cheesiest saying in the world is, I grew up fucking rich with love, but poor as fuck. So it's like my family was like, childhood was perfect.
Did you grow up in like Mississauga or Hamilton? Sorry.
No, I grew up in Windsor.
Sorry.
So I was the only one born in Canada. My other siblings were born in Lebanon. My mom and dad came here because my dad needed a welding job. There was a war in Lebanon, so he left. They came here, but I had, like, my mom she was a seamstress. So she used to make all my clothes, and she used to cook all the food. There was always food. There was always clothing. I always had everything, but I just didn't have all the cool shit that other kids had. And I always had shit lunches. Everybody had really good lunches.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, those things that you had are the things that are like what we were discussing earlier. Those are the things that make you the person that you are, like a good I don't know, you become a good person when you've got those things in your life. And you can miss out on a lot of that. You can miss out on a lot of character when everything's so superficial.
Okay, but I want to say something that, let's go a little, it's probably going to get too deep, but this podcast gets like that, so whatever.
It does.
So in my mind, I think this is what I think to myself all the time. It bothers the fuck out of me. There's two things. One, if I grew up in such a perfect household, perfect, right?
Yeah.
My perfect, whatever.
Yeah.
With lots of love and siblings and the whole shit. Why do I feel fucked up sometimes? Like I have insecurities and I'm fucking like, I'm overly sensitive sometimes. And like, you think if you grew up in a perfect household, you'd grow up like well-adjusted, like perfect, right?
You know, it's not reality though.
Yeah, but that's what you would think. You would think like, well, he grew up with a good childhood, so why does he have any issues? Right?
Yeah, but you're a product of more your environment than just your household. I mean, you have peers in school, you have friends, you know, people that could create those insecurities at you and while you're growing up in your environment at school. Like, I mean, there's so many.
But one of the things they always say is like, if you give your child enough love and whatever, make them feel like, then they'll grow up feeling secure and well-adjusted. And I'm like, it doesn't always translate, right? And then I always think to myself too, my dad, for example, was the fucking thriftiest guy on earth. Yeah. Like we used to go across the border to Detroit to do our grocery shopping because he wanted to make the dollar go as far as he could, right?
Yeah.
I fucking spend money like water. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
it's funny you say this because this is my dad grew up with, like, we're talking poor, like my dad grew up with nothing, like northern Saskatchewan, like his dad worked like on grain elevators and like, you know, like there was 3 kids plus 2 parents. They lived in a house the size of the kitchen I'm in, you know?
Yeah.
You know, he had nothing and he grew up and he worked hard and he made a ton of money.
Yeah.
You know, he made really good money in his lifetime, but he still lived that way. I mean, even now, like my dad lives in a fancy house and has tons of money and he wears clothes from 1975, you know? And it's like, well, they're perfect. Why would I get new ones, you know? And like, I think I've made this joke on here once, like when we go hunting and stuff, you know, my dad will have all his hunting equipment that's 40, 50 years old. You know, he hunts with a rifle that his first wife bought him in 1960 and they're in better condition than mine. And I bought mine in 2018, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's all, everything's kept in pristine condition. It's like, if something breaks, he fixes it. Where like I come, it's like sometimes something breaks and fuck it, I'll buy a new one.
So are you saying it's generational or are we just retarded?
I think it's a lot of generational. I also think when you grow up with a parent like that can fix and is so thrifty that they've always been able to do it for you. You know, like when I grew up with my dad, if something broke, my dad fixed it. And then now I've grown up, I don't have my dad that fixes everything. Well, I pay someone to fix it.
Okay, I'll give you an example. My dad raised 5 children on like $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
Yeah,
I can't take care of myself for that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Time has changed.
I know. Obviously, there's inflation, but still, it's like I'm like, why didn't I learn anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking crazy that.
Yeah, but I mean, there might be some things you've learned. I mean, like obviously with your spending and stuff. I mean, you've done well for yourself. I mean,
no.
You haven't blown through every penny you've made and done stupid things with it. You're not living on the street with a crack addiction, with the money you had. I mean, there's obviously things that you've done smart with your money. You started businesses, you started podcasts, you've invested, into things that can bring you passive income. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm sure that you might not think of it, but that in a couple years or 10, 20 years, you'll be like, well, I learned this from my dad, And the older I get, I see this appreciation I have for my dad. And, as a kid, I fucking hated it because it was like, my pants would rip and my friends would get new pants. And I'm like, I know my dad can afford to buy me new pants, but he would fucking sew a fucking patch in them. And I'd be like,
what my mom did.
Fuck you, Dad. Buy me a new pair of pants. And he'd want to go to Walmart. I'm like, you make $130,000 a year. I don't want fucking pants from Walmart. I want them from Athlete's World. I want Echo pants, like I want cool kid pants, But that wasn't the reality when I was with my dad because he was like, well, you don't need new pants. These pants are fine. We'll fix your pants.
Yeah.
So it's something that pisses you the fuck off when you're a kid. And then the older you get, it's something you really, really, I think you learn to appreciate. And you also learn to appreciate the hardships that they might have faced more the older you get.
And that's something I appreciate every day. And I have learned a lot from my dad, my work ethic in bodybuilding, my work ethic in business, all of it comes from my dad. But I'm like, why couldn't I learn those few other things? Like just the money. I think the money thing is funny. I'm not bummed about it. I'm just like, why didn't that translate? You know what I mean?
I think it's just as simple as you just can't have it all, Fouad. You just can't be the perfect man, can you?
I mean,
none of us can.
Yeah, but
there's always going to be a small flaw.
This gets to a generational thing too, because like your dad wasn't growing up in the era of internet and social media and like where buying things is at the click of your fingertips on Amazon and where, like cars are being advertised on fucking TV all the time. And, like where a buddy with his fucking fancy Corvette is showing it off on Instagram and you're like, hey, I want one too. Like it's such a different world we've come up with.
Our environment has a massive of the effect on us, and it's something that as much as we can try to be ourselves, it's always going to have a certain effect.
Like your and my dad's would have grown up with no TV in the house, with maybe a fucking AM radio. You're talking about something where these things aren't in their face. Like my dad grew up where the closest main store was a few hours away. Like it was completely different in terms of your accessibility to marketed goods, right?
Yeah. Do you think, James, have you picked anything up or not been able to pick anything up from your mom?
Much from my mum. I think I am pretty much my mum, but I just don't know.
Is there something that you wish you picked up that you didn't? That's what I want to know. Or are you just like
no, I think I am her. I'm so fucking determined, aggressively determined. Like, I pretty much am my mum in a different skin. Right? I think as I get older as well, it'll be even more apparent. And I think any of my family, like her siblings, when they see how I am and what I do, they probably think of her every time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much her, to be fair. I have the mannerisms of my dad, but I have the attitude of my mum.
Cool.
The one thing I wish I picked up that both my parents have in common is they're the most organized fucking people in the planet. And like, look, I'm a very tidy person. I know where things are, but I'm not necessarily like traditionally organized. Like you go into my mom's house, like she has like archives of things alphabetically ordered. Her spices are ordered by alphabet.
Yeah.
You go in her basement, it's boxes that are organized by years.
Yeah,
It's like, I could be like, hey, do you have this from, when I was a kid? And she'd be like, yeah, it's in box 7, row 4. And my dad's the same way. So organized. Everything is so accounted for. And like, I fucking lose shit all the time, that's one thing I really, really wish I'd picked up is that organizational skills like that. That's probably the biggest one for me.
See, I'm quite fortunate because that's kind of what Yannika's like. So that part.
Well, Melissa's very much like that as well. And I think that's one thing that I really like about her is that gives me that feeling of like peace, it's almost like home, where I feel that organization where, she does that on her end.
It does. It makes a home. It does make a home. It makes you feel somewhat.
But it's something I wish I had that myself, and I try to do it. But I can feel that it's something.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult when you're around each other a lot because what I noticed with, like I said to you guys, when Yannicka was away for the last couple of months, I started to become far more functional. And I loved it. I thought, I'm becoming this really good person.
Yeah.
She comes home, 2 days later, I'm back to old James. Fuck, shit. Like,
100%.
Awful. I hate it. I was like, what have I done?
You're just letting her handle everything? Is that why?
Yeah, I'm just like, do you mind opening that letter, reading that, seeing what's what? Like, I even said to her earlier, I was like, I'm getting pissed off with, like, these FedEx things. I was like, I just need you to be my PA, and I'll just pay the bills. Like, when they come, just tell me and I'll pay, because I don't want to do all the talking. So, but when she wasn't here, I was like, oh, do you know what? I feel like I should go through some things today, be organised.
Yeah.
And I became functional, and now I'm just dysfunctional mess.
I like having somebody to ride. Like Summer handles all my taxes.
Yeah,
I know, but I like that as well. But in the absence of her, I started to like the person I was becoming.
So you felt more accomplished, like more
capable, more accomplished, more like I could walk into a meeting with my chin high and be like, yes, I can propose a good idea. And then now I just feel like a useless shit that's good at lifting weights. That's about it. Do you know what I mean? It's like back to the old square one.
It's like they almost beat you to the punch on it, though. It's like sometimes, like I'm like, especially one thing that I've really got good at that I wasn't, being with Melissa is like hanging up my clothes and doing my laundry kind of stuff. Like I'm not a big laundry doer, but like if the laundry's there, I'll absolutely hang it up. Yeah. But like if it sits there for an hour, she'll hang it up. And I'm like, well, I would have done it just 30 minutes later,
Yeah,
it's like, I know I would have done it, but they beat you to the fucking punch of it. And then you feel like, shit, I got to, get my act.
Yeah. That was another thing I really enjoyed. Like, even though I didn't hang it well, doing it, I feel like I could hum along to my own tune of life.
Yeah.
Like, like a scene from a movie where you're just happy. And then now I'm not doing those things. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to fill the gap. Like, I need something to do.
Yeah.
Yannick, you need to leave me with something to do.
I can't believe you guys are complaining about this.
I know. It's bad, isn't it?
Let them do your shit for you. Who cares?
It's because we're all 30 plus. That's what happens. You get to that age. Like, when you're younger, you're like, please do everything for me. My mum used to do everything.
Yeah. So did mine.
Like, everything. Yeah. Literally, like,
Summer I still do all my own shit. Summer just does my laundry for me.
Yeah.
So I got that. I got lucky that way. Okay, back to bodybuilding. What's your feeling on high reps for legs?
I like high reps on the legs with load, as long as it's not like.
Well, let's assume that any reps we're talking about, because he's saying 15 to 20. So I'm going to assume that he's meaning failing at 15 to 20.
Yeah, but I mean, James can put on 455 on squats and do 20 reps of that, you know? So it's like, it's still very beneficial. I'm
As you know, like you can get strong in many rep ranges, and I don't think 15 to 20 is too high. I don't think that's out of. It's not like 50, 60, even though some people like that.
No.
For me, that's a bit too much. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
15 to 20, as long as the load's right, I think it's
different ways of getting to a 15 or 20. Because I mean, like you could be doing something like Patrick has us do lots of cluster sets,
like a 5x5,
4 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 5. I mean, that's 25 reps, but you're just doing it in a different manner. You know, we're doing a drop set or a rest pause set. I mean, there's different ways to increase the volume and have the higher reps while still working at the maximum load, right?
I'm going to give I'm going to give the most simplistic answer. This is I think this rep range is what it takes to get big legs. I don't think you can have really great legs and be in the 6 range.
No.
Yeah,
not
I agree.
Not exclusively. No. You can have. Okay, wait. Let me rephrase this. So in my leg workouts, I have a little bit of everything, but I always have a high rep movement. So, like for example, my squats might be a 6 to 8er. I might get up to a weight where I can only do 6 or 8 reps, but when I sit down on the leg press or the hack squat, I'm always on a 15 to 20.
Yeah,
that's fair. I think it's fair enough,
because I feel like my legs literally doubled in size. And I'll give this credit to Eric Fankhauser. He was the one who told me. He's like, "Are you doing any reps, any sets at 15 to 20?" I said, "No." He goes, "This whole off season, I want you to do all your leg press, all your hack squats at 15 to 20 and watch the difference. And make sure you're failing at 15 to 20.
Yeah.
What did you feel like from a joint and tendon ligament perspective doing at the higher reps like that? Better or worse?
I felt fine. The same. I think I felt better because, well, I can't say I felt better because I would still do heavy. I would still do heavy squats, heavy for me anyway. But like I would still do like a 6 to 8 rep range in the squats, and then I would go on the high volume stuff on the machines.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I've always found that to be the best order as well. Like lower reps early on, and we kind of do that as well, even with like Patrick. But some of the more extended sets come later in the workout. So I always like that. I think once you've done the loading stuff, you can keep loading if you wish, but I just think there's certain opportunity to get results from higher rep.
I agree.
I feel like you have to build the strength so that you can do the heavy high rep stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of going back to like what I said with James. It's like, James could, you could do a set of 500-pound squats for 15, but it's like he had to do those heavy sets to be able to attain that strength, to be able to utilize that.
So I guess if there's somebody watching who's new, right? This would be my advice to you. Take 3 months and do a strength phase where you do low reps and try and build your strength up as much as possible. Then go to a higher volume phase. But I think you need to build the strength first before you start doing the volume.
I think I'd probably listen to, this is where I'd probably suggest listening to someone like Jordan Peters for a little while.
Yeah.
Because he could still suggest a higher rep range set later in the workout, but you'd still want you to progressively overload it.
I guess my point.
I'm just thinking I'd still do the reps, but I would just want to progress that as well. So if I was doing 15 with 200 kilo, 4 weeks down the line, I want to be doing 210, 220 or something, I
guess my only point is that guys shouldn't, if they're new, they should focus more on building strength than working on volume, because the volume can come after you've built strength, and you'll get more out of the volume when you can do it with heavier weight.
And I think a key thing to hit home here is for all muscles is that people can't get too married to just one singular rep range.
That's
questions all the time. Like guys will be like, should I train 8 to 12 or 12 to 15? It's like, why one or the other? I mean, I think there needs to be, in incorporating a variety of these things, and they all have their place, and they all have, different uses in bodybuilding, because we're not powerlifters and we're also not endurance athletes. We're a bodybuilder, and there's going to be a variety of things you need to attain hypertrophy. So I think that they all have a place, and don't get attached so much to just one range,
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you guys agree that each muscle group performs differently at a different rep range? And not even, you can even break it down to each exercise.
It's exercise, because like press.
Yeah.
shoulder press. Like, I know this sounds really basic, but like laterals for a lot of people, a slightly higher rep range seems to be the one.
That's
Whereas with a press, you can drop the rep range down significantly and get the same kind of response.
And I think there's a simple explanation for that. If you're doing 80-pound dumbbells on a lateral raise, you're probably using a lot of traps. You're probably not going to get as much.
It's ultimately what are you using to do the movement, because it's that's all it is. It's like cheat patterns occurring. You're trying to avoid as many cheat patterns as possible and allow for as much emphasis to be on the the specific muscle as possible. And that's bodybuilding. It's your relationship between the targeted muscle and the load you're lifting. And the problem is, there's a lot of us at some point, because it just happens, is that we lose a little bit of that relationship in regards to the connection, because weight becomes so important. And I've done it. We've all done it, but then you relearn.
I think it's okay to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Like, let's say I'm doing a lateral raise with like 30-pound dumbbells, right? I can do perfect form and hold the weight and isolate the delt, but I don't think 30-pound dumbbells is going to give me as much as if I do 40.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So there's like a little slack there for like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying,
I kind of like,
I'm saying it for people watching, right? Like, because I don't want people to take what we're saying as gospel. They have to understand that there's a little bit of room for like, your form doesn't have to be like absolute textbook, and it shouldn't be complete shit either. Like, there's always a little bit of slack in all of these things.
Yeah, that's where I really liked for the couple of years, like just that Jordan's way of doing one set that was slightly loaded versus a slightly backed off set. Because for the form that you kind of might lose in that like loading set a little bit, you make up for it in the back off, and then you get the best of both worlds. You just marry the two.
Yeah,
that's what I always found.
I've been doing what I think is Jordan's program. I haven't actually contacted him, so I'm not. It's what I've gathered from our podcast. Yeah, and I really like it. I got to tell you, I don't use it on smaller body parts.
It's efficient.
Like on arms, like on arms, I don't do that.
No, you like volume. You'd like a bit more volume on arms stuff, wouldn't you?
Like a little bit more straight sets on arms and stuff like that. But on all the other body parts, I actually really like the system. You got
to do what you can do well. Like whatever training allows you to go in there, connect well, lift the weight that's necessary, and come out of there feeling achieved. You know,
the guy messaged me.
There's 10 ways to do it.
Guy messaged me yesterday, and I didn't have a great answer for him, but he said, how do I get over the fear of lifting heavy?
I had this question the other day.
And I said to him, I said I have the same fear, but I forgot. But I forgot it's because I'm 40. But I said to him, when I was younger, before I ever had my first injury, I used to welcome that fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I used to like if I sat down on a leg press and there was fucking 16 plates aside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would look at it and think, this is gonna fucking crush me.
Yeah.
And then I would unrack it and do it. I'm like, so
that's
it's
the
like,
do or die, isn't it? It's the fight or flight.
Yeah. But it's like, I
say this the most all the time going into heavy sets, or when I train with Julian, be like, I'll fucking load up crazy weight. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking terrified. Like, this is exciting. You know? But the excitement of that fear, and then when you succeed after the fact, is an extremely gratifying feeling. You know?
So, Ian, where do you think the line is then for people listening? Because they're going to think we're fucking insane. Where is the line between I have to give myself a little bit of fear to challenge myself, but I don't want to be a fucking retard and blow up my knees? Like, where is that line?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it needs to be a progression. And like, you know, because I don't go from like one day having never squatted 300 pounds to one day trying 600, you know? I mean, this is obviously a progression within your training. And that's going to give you some sense of security. I mean, like James obviously would feel a lot safer going and doing an 800-pound squat than I would be, because he's done 700-pound squats where I haven't done that very commonly, you know? So, I mean, that is what builds that feeling in you, right? That safety feeling in you, a little more than just straight fear. Some fear is good to give that little bit of anxiety in that fight or flight. But if you feel that it's something that is just completely out of your wheelhouse, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, that's what nervous,
but you're confident, but you're like nervous that it's going to be really, really heavy. That's good. If you're something like, yo, this is just fucking stupid, I probably shouldn't do this, but let's try it anyways, well, then you're probably right, you know?
It's actually one of the main things I learned from Jordan's podcast was I make a lot of use of the 2.5 pound plates now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly do. I never did before. You know, it's funny. The whole time I've grown up throughout my career, if I couldn't put at least a 10 on, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. This is it. This is good enough. And Jordan's like, if I can put a 1 pound plate on either side,
one more than last time.
And I've started doing that now, and I'm like, you know what? It actually does make a lot of sense, and my strength is going up every week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of goes to your point, Ian, which is building up to those crazy weights, so you're not as scared.
Well, I mean, it goes for anything. Like, think of like, I keep doing this because I've been watching a lot of it, but like, think of a Formula One driver. They didn't go one day from driving their fucking Honda Civic to getting in a Formula One car. You know, they did karting as a kid, and then they would have gotten to Formula 3, Formula 2. You know, like they worked up in cars that were progressively faster, progressively scarier, moving quicker. You know, like it's a progression. And by the time, if I was getting a Formula One car, I'd be fucking terrified. I couldn't drive it. I'd crash. I'd kill myself. These guys have got that progression into that. Yeah. So for them, it's a lot less fearful than it is for me. And the same thing goes for James. I mean, if someone's never squatted 300 pounds, they're like, hey, let's try 600. I think I can do it. Well, yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot of fear, but if you've done 300, 400, 500, 550, 575, okay, 600 is scary because it's unfound territory, but it's not as fearful because you're
it's 20 it's 25 it's only 25-pound jump.
Yeah, even if it's 50-pound jump, it's still not completely unrealistic. You know, you're not going from the Civic to the Formula One car. You're going from the Formula 2 car to the Formula 1 car.
Well, it's similar. I mean, I'll personalize it. It's like me trying to get back to 4 plates.
Yeah.
Because ever since my tricep tear, I haven't been able to do 4 plates. I'm like, I do 3 now. And I just have to go back up by 5s.
Yeah.
By 5s, and eventually I'll get back. So that's
and they're never feeling excessively anxious going from 315 to 325 to 335 to 345. Yeah. You know, by the time you get to 400 pounds, you haven't done anything that seems so excessively unrealistic to you that it's super scary, you know?
Yeah. James?
It's weird because I got this like in my head. I'm just thinking about like when you was all talking about that, I was thinking about like walking into the woods. One day I walk into it 20 yards. The next day I walk into it 25 yards, and eventually I can get through the woods.
Yeah.
Do
you know what I mean? Like,
no,
because the fear is there. You don't want to walk into the forest. Why can't
you just walk through the forest?
Because it's like scary, unknown territory.
I know. Yeah. I'm just fucking with
you. There's ghouls in there.
We're talking about uncharted territory.
I know. I get it.
Yeah. Sorry, but I don't know why. I was just like, you two were talking. I could just see myself like Little Red Riding Hood walking into a fucking
Hey, Melissa. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Put these in order. It's not a guy question, don't worry. But you're a foodie, so here we go. McDonald's, tacos, chocolate. Oh wait, why is it balance and tears? Okay, they're just fucking with us. Okay, I was gonna say McDonald's, tacos, and chocolate, and I thought there was more food, but they're just fucking with us. So.
Oh my god, I have to put that in order.
Just go with those 3 then.
Chocolate.
Let's add pizza too.
Okay.
McDonald's and cheese and cracker boards too.
Fuck's sake. This is really like this.
Oh my god, I'm getting hungry. Chocolate, tacos, charcuterie board, pizza, McDonald's.
McDonald's is last? Are you crazy?
Fuck McDonald's.
She doesn't really do McDonald's. And if she does, she gets like junior chickens, like or chicken wraps, you know, like she's.
I agree with chocolate though. Chocolate is number one.
James, you love chocolate, eh?
Chocolate's last
love it.
for me.
Chocolate's last for you, Ian?
No, it's pretty close between chocolate and pizza.
Yeah.
Man, if I eat one chocolate, I have to seek the rest. I have to find them all.
Yeah.
I think the cheese and the charcuterie. What is it called? Charcuterie board?
Charcuterie. Yeah. No, I'd probably put McDonald's as 1, charcuterie board as 2, tacos is 3, pizza is 4, chocolate is 5.
Wow, McDonald's at the top, man.
I don't know where I put tacos because I haven't had tacos in a long time, but I've been craving them lately.
The thing with McDonald's is there's never a time if I'm like hungry that McDonald's doesn't seem like a good idea.
Right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Like if I'm hungry, I'm like, pizza, it would be good, but McDonald's will always be good.
And McDonald's never lets me down. It's always delicious.
Never.
See, we're like that here with KFC.
What's that, James?
We're very much like that here, but with KFC. KFC is the one that fills the gaps.
KFC's too healthy, though.
Healthy?
No. No.
I remember reading a Flex magazine article back in the day where they said if you get a KFC chicken breast, but you take off the skin, it's still healthy.
It's just chicken?
Well, because they fried it, but you took the skin off.
Yeah, sure.
So what's wrong with the meat?
I'm sure that oil and stuff soaks in pretty deep into that fucking chicken.
I don't think so. I don't think
saturated.
That's not how it
I don't
works.
know, man. That's like a fucking marinade. Like that's getting in there, you know?
That is, and that's a crime anyway. That's an absolute crime to do.
Wait a minute. I don't think that's how fried stuff works. Fries.
The skin of KFC is like the best part too. I would literally take the skin off and just eat the fucking skin.
Yeah, I know. Who was it that I used to know that used to eat the skin sandwiches? They used to eat chicken skin sandwiches. They take all the skins off.
Would they fry them?
And make a sandwich? No, they would make a sandwich out of it.
Would they just be floppy skin, or would they like crisp it up a bit?
No, it would just be like they literally take them off the chickens from KFC.
Oh, from KFC, okay.
From KFC and put them in a sandwich. And James, you should try it. Tell me what you think.
I would
be good.
That would be good. That'd be like if you got a nice white loaf, like a crusty white loaf, and buttered it, and then put the skin in it crispy. That would be really good. I'll try it.
I don't think
we'll try this sometime.
I don't think Patrick's gonna let me hang out with you guys anymore.
Oh, Patrick, I have to be so I gotta be so careful with what I say online.
Let me see. That's not a question. Thoughts on Kai Green signing with RedCon 1? What does that say about his own line dynamic muscle? I don't know if you can even comment on that, James.
I can comment. I can say what I want.
Wait, question. Didn't RedCon, didn't they already kind of own dynamic muscle though?
Well, this is the thing. I think Aaron helped. Aaron was, I thought, funding dynamic muscle.
Aaron and him launched it together.
And they're kind of subunits of RedCon.
Yeah, so basically Aaron got Kai for free.
Well, he just enveloped his brand and signed him onto his line. What's the fucking difference? You know?
Yeah, what happened originally is that they started Dynamic together.
Yeah.
Then Aaron let Kai buy him out. So then Kai actually did own it, and then
Kai owned it by himself.
And now he's basically reabsorbed, and I think they might even introduce some of the products into the RedCon line.
So wait a minute, are they keeping them as dynamic, or are they changing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So I don't know too much, but I don't think they are.
So that brand is just gone.
I think it will. The products themselves will become maybe like a Kai line
in RedCon.
Yeah, you'll get like the Kai line maybe in RedCon, perhaps.
But that's what I'm asking. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's not going to be called Dynamic though within RedCon?
No, I think it'll be called RedCon, but then it'll be like a Kai Green series.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
So
kind of like flex with Yamamoto.
Is that so what are our thoughts on that? Is it anything? Do we think anything about that?
Good for him.
Yeah, it's fucking business. Yeah, I'm sure he is. The nosy man in me would love to know how much.
So would I.
Yeah. I know. You know what's funny? I know Kai is extremely popular.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a sales guy.
What's that?
I don't know if he's a sales guy though.
Well, he must be.
He's such a big fan base. They'll eat up anything he pushes. You know.
Well, he must be.
That's why I always wonder.
Like, he couldn't have been doing that good if they absorbed Dynamic, because I mean, obviously his products weren't selling that crazy, right?
Well, no, I don't think they were doing that great. But he must be a good salesperson, because he all he does is advertise those ebooks.
Yeah.
Like all day long.
They sell like crazy.
I know, but they're a pound each.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he probably sells 1 million of them.
Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't make you a good salesman. That just means you're putting out something very cheap that's easy to sell.
That's true.
So, like, you're a good salesman if your ebook's $17.99 and you sell 1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I wonder.
I guess my question is, what is Kai going to do for the brand if he's not competing? And a lot of his posts aren't bodybuilding focused.
I don't know. I imagine he's come back to actually probably get a bit of mentorship from Aaron himself, because Aaron's the businessman. So maybe it's like Aaron, you're the guy that knows what to do with business. What should I do? Yeah. And this was probably the solution. You know what I mean? Because Aaron is very savvy. He's had when you look at his history with the heroin and everything like that, like the geezer's turned his life around.
Did you say heroin?
Yeah, like he's open about it on stories. Like if you watch his stories, he's like,
I didn't know that.
To be addicted. Yeah, he's really addicted to it, and he discusses it and openly says he can turn your life around. Huh. He's a very interesting man. Yeah, very interesting.
I didn't know that. So I should have him on the podcast.
You should like honestly, because I remember having him on R1 back in the day, and he opened up about everything, and it's just really good for anybody who's like not sure where they're going in their life and have been in dark times. So yeah, I think maybe it's a bit of mentorship going on there, perhaps. Yeah.
This is an easy answer. Why does my lower back hurt after I squat?
Because you're not engaging your core well and you're putting too much strain on your lower back.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a thing I see all the time. So people start to squat and they go like this, and then as they get to the bottom, they do this.
Yeah. Or they have the pelvic hip dump, yeah.
So if you're leaning, that's also a possibility. But if you're leaning, a lot of people lean way too far forward, and then half your squat is your lower back then.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in some cases has a place, because I know in like proper powerlifting technique.
In powerlifting, they do it,
They do that because it closes the angle and opens the angle of muscles.
If you watch stand squat.
That's to do one repetition.
Wait a minute.
5 repetitions, you know?
I want to show that just so I can give an example. Give an example, because you guys are 100% right that it's totally normal in powerlifting, but that's not what we want to do as bodybuilders. We're going to try to activate our quads, not trying to just lift weights.
Yeah, because if you look at Stan, like, let's be honest, his quads are not very developed, but he's got very strong posterior chain.
Like if you watch Stan squat here,
you see how his body folds in half.
He's closing the V. He's closing the V.
Yeah. You see how
he's using all glute ham, posterior chain.
That's a lot of fucking weight, though. I mean,
he's very impressive. Very impressive.
Like, Stan's fucking like 50 years old, man.
He's a real geezer.
I think he's like 53 or some shit.
Yeah.
I could have.
Have you ever watched his Rhino rants on YouTube? They're quite good.
I have watched a couple, actually. I had him on the podcast a while back. He's very intelligent.
Yeah, very.
But yeah, this is the whole point I'm trying to make. This is great for powerlifting, but if you're bodybuilding, you're trying to build your quads, you want as little body lean as possible.
Yeah.
And Fouad, let's mention this. You have to bear in mind that this man has trained his lower back to be able to do this.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, he's a very good puller off the floor as well. His deadlift is obviously exceptional as well.
Yeah, we got to make sure
to average Joe.
Yeah, we have to make sure that what I'm saying is Stan is exactly doing everything he should be doing for powerlifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for bodybuilding, we have a little bit different.
Did you see my squat?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good example.
Yeah, I finally got something. So the difference between a bodybuilding squat is like literally. I know I'm just using myself as an example here, but this is a bodybuilding squat.
We don't have a side angle, but
perfectly upright. No, very little hip hinge there.
Yeah.
So you guys see that? I don't know about you, James, but when I do this, I always keep my head up and find a spot on the mirror. And when I
I actually don't.
Really?
Look,
because for me,
a perfect squat from a bodybuilding perspective.
1 second. For me, when I keep my head up, it keeps my chest up.
So if I turn sideways, what I tend to encourage, this is just my own opinion, is I just keep a neutral. So because my bar path is good, so I won't tilt because my hips, my knees and my ankles have got good flexibility. So therefore, even at the lowest point of the squat, the amount I'm tilting is probably only that.
Yeah. Okay.
So my head's neutral.
Your head up,
it's still not.
Line is always the same. Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say I put my head up. I don't mean I do this. I mean, like, where it is now. I don't do that. I mean, like, where it is right now is where it stays. Because the reason I'm saying that is what I noticed is a lot of people when they squat is they'll do this, and as their head drops, their lower back, their back moves forward, right?
Your spine goes with your head.
A lot, right?
What's that? One of you go. What's that, Ian?
I said your eyes will dictate where your body moves a lot, right? So
exactly.
When your body will follow. So
exactly,
keeping a neutral spine and a neutral head path is the optimal way to keep your body in line like that.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm just happy we got that video up. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Great squat.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, sir.
Well, this is fucking bullshit. How come I don't get a fucking video? You guys all get your fucking.
Pull it up. Where's your squat? Let's see it.
All right, let's see my squat here. Okay, let's see it.
Well, we've done deadlift squat. We need a bench.
I can't bench for shit. I can squat though. That's on a Smith machine. It doesn't count.
It's all right.
That's you know what? That's a good example. If you have a lot of trouble bending your back forward when you're squatting, try a Smith machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Should encourage more knee and hip.
This is free weight.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Let's see if I have shit form or not.
I'm feeling it'll be all right. Get out of the way, you bastard.
I take a long time to get set up. That's a lot of weight for me.
Does this person not know you're filming, walking in front of this camera?
They don't give a fuck. Yeah, see, my back is not like I'm not leaning forward at all.
Yeah, but it's sinking into the hole. It's all the hips are driving down.
Yeah, no, it's good.
All right, I got the approval.
You can see the load is all on your legs, glutes. Like you're loaded where you should be. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not trying to minimize the load to move more weight.
Yeah, and that's what bending forward does.
Yes, because you're just trying to move the weight through the bar path as easily as possible, which
So
you're not trying to do.
We're going to leave this up for a little while so that I can create a shirt that said, "Did you see my squat?"
Hey, I just look a little shirt.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
Okay, good lesson for people. That I see that all the time. Favorite roids for bulking.
Love that. Straight to the point.
Bulkers and cutters.
Bulkers and cutters. Test.
Yeah.
Test is my
Yeah, listen, testosterone is just testosterone. It's just great.
Best for all of them. That is the answer for everything.
That's
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Do you guys keep a training journal, and do you train by feel?
I've got like a mental log.
Yeah.
I know where I'm at. Yeah.
I know where I'm lifting. Yeah.
I kept a mental log my whole career until Jordan came on my podcast, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
So I have a training log now.
I've thought about it, but I mean, I usually remember like, hey, last week I did 4 plates here. Okay, let's add a little bit. Let's, like I'm good at remembering and progressively overloading where I think it's
you know what,
fit.
This is what I find weird about the training log and why I never really adopted one. And even now that I have one, I still, even though I have one, I write everything down. I don't follow it like the way Jordan does. Because Jordan, no, this is what I mean. Like Jordan's training log, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, James, but it's for him to look back at the previous Monday or whatever it is and go, okay, for chest I did 405. This week I want to do 410.
Yeah. Jordan's is very, very much one way.
Yeah.
More.
Right? Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is what I don't understand about that is there's so many fucking variables to the way you feel on a training day.
That's the thing that Jordan preaches heavily. He's like, you should have no variables. Like Jordan's my friend. He's like, you have to make your life like the same day every day. Yeah. That's Jordan's thing. Like he sees that if fluctuations occur, then you have to correct your variables.
But I just mean
that's Jordan's sale point.
Yeah. And that's it. And that's a very good point because but I'm thinking things such as small as like, okay, let's say Monday is my chest day. Monday is the 405 day. I got to do 410 today.
Yeah.
I only slept 4 hours.
Then he would say, that's your fucking fault.
I know.
That's what he would do. That's literally what he would do.
Yeah, that's my point, though. It's very tough.
It's tough if it's not realistic for you.
Yeah.
That's why you have to find a training style that suits you.
But you have to have I think to do Jordan's training style and really achieve what he's trying to achieve. And James, like you said, you've done it. You can correct me, but it feels like you have to have a very, very strict, regimented lifestyle. Yeah,
you do. And Jordan does. Like, granted, one thing I can praise him for, especially, obviously he's my friend, but he has created, a lifestyle that fits exactly that.
Well, I mean, because to be able to constantly increase your weights, you have to control every variable.
Everything. And he does. Yeah. Like he won't eat a gram rice. Yeah. He won't eat a gram rice over the
1 week. He's supposed to do 410 and because he did 405 last week and he can't do it.
But he said he goes into a depression for the whole week.
Yeah, he does. He'll go mad.
I literally asked him, Ian, on the podcast. I said, what happens if you go in and you don't, because he's like, I said, I feel like I'm going to war. Right.
Yeah.
I said, okay, what happens if you go to war
and you lose
and you don't? Yeah. And he goes, I will think about it every day until the next week.
Yeah. What he would do then, so he would then look at everything he's done that week because he logs everything, whether it be eating, sleeping, training. So he'll look at everything. And if he has done everything to the T and it's still fucked, then he'll take that and say, okay, then the body is now fighting back. I am due a deload. So he's always doing something. He's always he is very, very methodical in everything he does. Yeah. So from that situation, he'd probably plant a deload in the training and focus on that.
Yeah, he did say that. He said he does the same. And Graham, James, please correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. But
of course.
He told me he does the same workouts until they stop working.
Yes, he'll fade out of movement once he reaches peak of safety.
I have a question too, and this is just because I don't know Jordan's training very well.
Yeah.
Because you can't always be progressing just from a strength. So if we're just talking like adding little bits of plates, you can't eventually incline 600 pounds, 700 pounds, 750.
Of course.
That's not how it works. There's going to be a ceiling. So where do you go from the ceilings in this training platform?
So that's what he does. So then obviously if you can't progress the load, then obviously the minimum of your reps is going to be a 6 to 8 kind of rep range. Yeah. So first, before he's reached the ceiling would be then 10 reps or something silly like that. Yeah. Once that's done, he switches out the movement for something that has a similar targeted muscle group in terms of where you're trying to recruit, but it's going to be hard to learn again. So, pulling off the floor will be an RDL for such a long period of time. And then it will become I don't know, he might use a machine like the one that you guys have got So he'll just keep switching things around once he reaches those feelings, so that there's always something continuously moving in a direction. He hates things to stall, but he'll exhaust it. Like he'll take it all the way to his limits. So like chest press, he'll literally take like barbell press to his absolute maximum. And because he's recorded so much data over the years, he kind of knows where's safe for him and where's not. So if it's like, you know, if it's a case of going in and doing a 5-plate incline bench, he probably won't do it because he knows that personally his joints aren't going to handle it. So that's when he'd probably phase it out for like a prime press or something like that. So I don't know. He's a fucking smart guy, honestly. Like, and it's great.
Yeah,
he's if you could watch like his life condensed into like a video and all the methodical kind of approach to everything he's done, you would be like, man, this guy really thought everything through.
Yeah. What's your spirit animal, Ian?
Didn't we just answer this question on your fucking podcast, babe?
But you did.
What animal would we want to be?
Well, it's really the same question, isn't it? I mean, what's the difference?
What'd you say?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. A cheetah. I want to be a cheetah.
You're not a cheetah, dude. Are you serious?
I want to be. That's what I want to be.
Yeah, but that's okay. But okay, this is different.
But I want to be fast.
I know, but this isn't
the fastest thing on the planet.
Okay. But this is asking, what's your spirit animal, not what you want it to be.
Well, then we're all just going to be fucking like gorillas and beluga whales and fucking elephants. Like you know what I mean? We're all bodybuilders. We're all the fucking same. Like,
but animals have a personality too. They're not all just big, right? So, like, what would be your personality if you were an animal?
Says I'm a fucking dog. What kind of dog? Like a Frenchie or like a golden retriever? Or like a pit bull? I'm a mastiff.
I like mastiff.
A big, slobbery, lazy kind of fucking... Oh, I'm cute. That's why.
Yeah. That's a good one. I don't know. What do you think, James?
I feel like you'd be an owl.
Me? Me?
Yeah.
An owl?
You'd be an owl.
Yeah.
I would be an owl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
You're even getting the grays in there. You kind of got the owl thing going on. I see this. This is
okay,
good.
Wait a minute. Explain, James.
Well, it's wise. It's
a bit of wisdom there, isn't there?
Yeah, wisdom and knowledge, and that's what goes with an owl. You know,
and you're always looking to learn more. Like you always, in bodybuilding, you're the guy that brings forth lots of information from all different aspects of people.
You're very inquisitive. You're good at carrying the conversations and asking questions and bringing knowledge and taking knowledge in. Like, owl for sure.
I thought this was going to.
I'm not going to say. And I'm not saying this. I'm not saying you have a beak. Because I know you're going to fucking say it.
You're a fucking asshole.
You beat you to the punch, so you can't say it.
Okay, wait. I thought I was going to be upset about it, but now I think I'm happy.
Yeah,
an owl is a fantastic fucking animal.
Absolutely, that's a compliment. Not
but everybody wants to be like a fucking I'm a gorilla or something,
cheetah.
Right? Nobody wants. Cheetah.
Owls are hunters, mate. Owls when they need to.
Yeah, but I know. But when you think, if you just ask, okay, if I just asked you what you want to be, you wouldn't say owl. So originally, when you said it, I'm like, that sucks. But when you explained why, I'm like, I kind of like that.
I'm trying to think what do you think you would be, James?
James,
you're a very specific personality.
James is very.
I'm trying to think of something that fits.
Think of an animal. James is a bull.
No.
A bull.
Yes, James is a bull. Yes, he is.
Fucking
bull. No, I think his mind is different than that, though.
Oh, that's true. I guess a bull is kind of stupid.
There's some like weird quirks. There's some quirks to James's brain that are not bull-like.
Yeah. I agree with you. You're right.
I haven't got a clue. Honestly, it's blown. I have no idea. So I'm going to leave that with you boys for another time.
Bulls to me are more like blind rage and aggression. James is very focused.
James, do you have a temper?
I can do, but I'm quite a controlled person.
Because I feel like a bear would be good too.
Bear has more of the right. Because
bears are very smart. They're very methodical.
But they can also
destroy you if they want to.
If I wish to. Don't fuck me up.
James here to like plug in a perfect animal for this.
James, let me explain something to you. This is how you know I'm a better friend to you than you are to me. The question comes up, and I tell everybody you're a bear. You told everybody I was a fucking owl.
Man, the owl's the best one here. That's like wisdom and knowledge. That's a compliment. Come on.
I'm just fucking with you guys.
This is your inner bodybuilder wanting to be a big fucking ferocious animal.
That's true. That's what it is.
The owl for me is like the epitome of like It is wisdom, isn't it? It is wisdom.
I like
from
it.
Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, like owl, you know, like
Okay.
that's like, you know.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll
yes,
take it.
yes.
I'll take it. I'm happy. Thank you.
I'm glad.
Okay, I got to go. Would you rather have super speed? Well, we already know what Ian's going to
Yes.
We know what Ian's going to say.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Or, okay, what's my or?
Or be the size you are, or have super strength and get even bigger.
No, super speed, 100%. Not even a question for me.
We're quite strong anyway. There's no need to be stronger really in this world.
Yeah, no.
Don't say that, James. You would take the be bigger and stronger. Of course you would.
No, because if you have the speed, then you got two things. Like we are strong, so speed would be awesome.
We're already in like the 99.9999999 percentile of strong people, you know.
So you're saying we would just be the same size, but we would just have super speed.
Yeah, which would be mad.
Yeah, I take that. Yeah, I take that.
Imagine seeing someone the size of any of us running like Usain Bolt. That'd be a fucking sight to see, you know.
That's very impressive.
I could get an NFL contract.
Bro, you would be like the best NFL player of all time. You just bulldoze motherfuckers.
Well, you could have an NFL contract, but then you could, if you're that fast, you could just do the 100 meters anyway. Yeah. So we could just do everything.
Be in the NFL, you could be the best bodybuilder and a strongman and a fucking football. You could do it all.
Yeah.
Nike would be throwing billions at you.
I have a good question. In Pumping Iron, the movie, did you think Lou Ferrigno could have beat Arnold, or do you think they just favored Arnold because he's Arnold?
I think if Lou Ferrigno got shredded, maybe.
Yeah.
But he didn't get shredded till he competed against Dorian.
Yeah.
But was Lou Ferrigno was Arnold in that much better condition than he was?
Better enough. Yeah, he was marginally better, which was enough. I think.
Slightly, and I mean, also, you know, the thing of being a defending champ is worth something, right? I mean, no one's
got to knock him out, haven't you? You know what it's like. You can't just you got to beat them. It's not just turn up and be a little bit better, or even on par. Yeah. I think.
1 second.
Are you pulling picks from these?
You're going to look at pictures.
What is it? 1975?
That was the one on Pumping Iron. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lou had everything, but you could have pulled him down another few pounds and he would have looked fantastic.
All right, let's see what this looks like.
This is where we get proved very wrong.
All right. I don't know which one. This is 75.
Right. No. Close that.
Okay.
He looks younger there.
Here.
There, right there.
Pretty close conditioning there.
I think another picture.
Arnold's legs look better.
Related images left side, yeah. Yeah,
you can hamstrings.
Arnold's legs look better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no one trained hamstrings back then.
Yeah, no one did.
It's true though, isn't it?
They probably had like some kind of plate-loaded hamstring curl, and that's like it, you know.
That's all they did.
Look at Lou's hamstrings. Look.
We're like laughing at a legend. This joke.
No, I'm not laughing at it. It's just fun.
We are. We're laughing at the fact he's smooth.
Look. I'm not laughing
at the smooth. We're laughing at the smoothness.
I'm not laughing. Look,
It's pretty smooth.
I'm nothing compared to Lou Ferrigno. I just think it's funny that
I don't know.
At that time in bodybuilding, it was not a relevant body part to train.
It obviously wasn't, was it?
With the hands up, yeah, let's see that.
I think Lou Ferrigno has. It looks to me from these little pictures we're looking at had a thicker upper body, but I think Arnold looked more complete overall.
I would agree.
If I had to.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But his legs look quite chunky there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just not in shape, Jake.
This doesn't look like the same year though. Does it look like the year before?
This looks like a set before.
Yeah, that's earlier. Yeah.
He was a big lad though, wasn't he? He was a big gentleman.
Look at this. Holy fuck. Look how big he looks here.
What about the 1992 Olympia? 92 Olympia, or was it 93?
Let's talk about the size of that goddamn trophy. That's fucking 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I know.
How the fuck do you get that home?
That's mad.
Look at this one. Look at this is a good one. This is 75.
Yeah, that's good.
That's cool.
That's cool, man. That's a good one. That's a good shot.
It's all right there, man.
Dude, his legs look crazy there, man.
Exactly.
These pictures are different. Wait a minute. Like, this is good.
Is that 75 here though? Do we know? Does it say?
It says doesn't say. I have to click on it and go to the page.
This changes everything.
And his hamstrings look good here.
I mean, better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're proportionate to the leg.
Yeah. There's a line. There's a line now. There wasn't one on the last one. He's got the one line.
Now you're the one making fun of a legend.
Okay, from the back,
yeah,
you can see definitely better with Arnold.
Arnold's calves are quite nutty, aren't they?
Yeah, he's got some big calves. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Are they implants?
They look like you're there. They do look like you're there.
Where do you think, guys? What do you think would happen if this exact physique, but with a different head on, stepped on the stage today?
Oh, you could
kind of Vermoga.
Yeah. I mean, look at
Callum didn't look as good as him.
Look at this later version of Lou though, in the middle, the very middle.
Wait a minute, I just want to say something. This picture right here,
it's good. It's a good physique.
It is, but honestly, the way things are nowadays, if this guy stepped on a classic stage, they would say his waist is too thick.
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
like,
that's why Arnold did like posing from the front, didn't he? He liked to twist. He even did it himself back then, and that's better.
Down one.
Like, I thought
that's Ian's favorite shot.
Ian, why do you want to see this? What the fuck's wrong with you?
That was next. I want to see one below it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big fella. Yeah, I just remember because he did the '92 Olympia, his comeback, wasn't it?
I think they did him wrong in that movie though.
Yeah,
they fucking
obviously a very Arnold favored movie. Yes.
Yeah, they made him.
Yeah, it was what they did in Generation Iron with like Phil.
Yeah,
here's him and Dorian. How old is
his waist in '92 was so tight.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he had some serious.
I love Dorian's. My favorite Dorian physique has got to be '92 or '93.
Yeah, streamlined, but like really, really. Yeah.
I know he wasn't massive yet and all that shit, but it's just a beautiful physique, and I feel like his legs match his upper body here, whereas after in the later years, his upper body got so big.
I mean, this picture, I can't stop looking at how pretty fucking Labrada is. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Lee's very good.
Even his damn face. I mean, the guy is good looking as shit. You know.
Yeah, he's got a smile, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Smile.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, man. Anyway, okay.
It's quite cool looking back, actually, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't actually do this that often. That's why I'm like.
Yeah,
no, same. I don't either. So it's definitely interesting.
When I was prepping for that last show, I actually went on YouTube and I was watching a bunch of old posing routines for some ideas. There's some fucking really good routines in the '80s. They did some really cool shit.
Yeah,
because the music was better. The music was so better because it was like original. Like it wasn't copies of. Everything now sounds the same.
It seemed like they use a lot of like movie music, like Chariots of Fire and shit like that.
Yeah, very much so.
Another question: is Ian actually training calves every day? Did you say that somewhere?
I was, yeah.
How did that feel? Did it work?
Yes, but I'm doing every second day now, and I do this 100 rep set thing, and I find that I'm getting a lot more out of it.
I noticed every other day wored really well for me.
Yeah,
because
I like every second day. And I alternate between a sitting and a standing, and I do as few sets as I can complete 100 reps in.
I did the same thing you're doing, except I alternated high volume and low volume.
Okay, yeah, I'll throw in some low volume, like some heavier stuff once in a while.
Yeah,
if I'm feeling like they're still really tired from the low, like the pump and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll throw in some of the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've really found the 100 rep, like just fucking burn the shit out of them, has really been working well.
James, I can't think of it right now. Are your calves good or no? I don't remember what they look like.
My calves are pretty all right. I'm getting up.
Let me see. His legs are still striated.
Yeah, he's got good calves.
But that's a favorable angle.
Hey!
You have to turn around. Turn around. Stop showing your quad. Okay, now let's see.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't think they match his quads.
You don't think
my calves are fucking good, bro.
Ian.
They're pretty big.
They're about 20. They're over 20 inches, mate.
I'm trying to get Ian to fuck with you, and he's not fucking with you.
No, I'm not gonna fuck with that. I can't fuck with them. My calves are way smaller than that. Are you crazy? I'm not allowed. I'll be fucking obliterated in the comments. People be like, "Yo, Ian chirping James."
No, because they know. We're fucking around.
But like my calves respond quite easily.
Yeah.
I wish I had Ian's arms. That's what I want. I would love that. If I had your arms, mate, that side where you're just like that.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
You know what I was really shitty? My arms were always good from the side, but shit when I put them up.
You find, yeah?
I have so many pictures. What's that?
Is it like the peak of your bicep or?
No, it's the long head of my tricep.
Oh.
You know how that? Yeah, you know that long head of the long head? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. By the hang.
So people know this side, this here. It's just not developed. I just can't get it to get real thick. So when I put them up, there's no swoop underneath. You don't get that like drop.
Like
that's like what
Justin Compton arms.
Yeah, exactly.
He had that. Like when he did that, it was like.
Yeah.
So like that's where most of the mass in my arm is. Is like you look at like something like this.
Oh wait, I got this question. This is a good question.
I want to see this now.
When you're
like this is like where you see like all the mass of my arm is like
in the long head.
Yeah.
Focus there.
Yeah. No, I can see it.
Did you see his arm? Did you see his arm?
Did you see his arm? Ian's just going to create a whole series of shirts.
Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see my line?
Yeah, know? Exactly. Yeah. When you are taking a shower and you have to pee, do you get out to pee?
No.
Okay, good. I didn't know if I was
get out and pee. James, are you?
No. It's because I just don't want to get in trouble with the missus.
Oh. Look, usually, like if I before I get into the shower, I'll always attempt to piss. Yeah. And then if I gotta go while I'm in there, I let it go. I'm not gonna get back out.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't need to know what this question was. You'll see when you watch the podcast back.
2 hours in, you'll watch up to.
James, I got in trouble for that too once, but I just ignored her. I'm like, whatever, man. I'm not.
Come on, that's like what are you gonna do in it?
In the shower too. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get out of the shower all soaking wet.
Hey, babe, a girl too. Do you pee in the shower?
No, she doesn't.
She pees in the shower. 100%.
No, you don't. Oh my God!
Sure, she does.
Good.
I've been in the shower
that makes it bad for us.
But it's different. It's different for girls, though.
No, you just fucking piss. Just give her.
No, but it's different.
Getting watered down.
I know, but it's different for chicks.
No, it's not.
Because we have a dick and it shoots away from us.
Yeah.
So, you're in the shower.
Yeah, it's not on us.
Yeah, she says she doesn't piss on herself when she pees.
I would ask Annika later.
I'm not gonna ask for any more physiological questions, but that doesn't seem possible.
Do you want a video?
Fucking hell.
I do.
I know somebody in the comment section is gonna ask for that now.
Someone will ask for that.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay,
it's on our OnlyFans.
We'll do a couple more and we'll get. Hey, have you guys thought of having an OnlyFans, not for sex?
No.
What would you do though? What sort of?
No, because I guess
what do people do?
This is what I heard, and I haven't.
Just put exclusive content that people pay for.
Yeah, you put you can put either some article you've written or a training program or
okay,
yeah, that kind of shit. But I guess people are doing it.
Yeah, no, a lot of people use. I mean, it actually started as a thing for musicians to like put paid content on.
Oh, is that what it is?
Started, yeah.
Oh, I thought
the sex industry took it over. Yeah.
I thought it started for porn.
No.
I had the same kind of thought process towards it as you thought. I thought it was just for people to get a bits out.
I wonder if people would like that. I mean, I'd start an OnlyFans if people were going to buy like training articles or whatever, like training programs.
Well, it would almost be easier for you just to have a website then. Like you already have a website, just do it off there. You know? Like,
yeah.
Would it? But no. But I don't think so.
You can drive the traffic to your website. You can sell merch off the site. You can sell tons of other stuff. It's easier to do it on a website.
I know, but if people are already on OnlyFans, they're looking at porn. Now I'm there too.
If you're looking for porn, you're not looking for Fouad at the same time.
You could be after you blow your load. You're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll get a training program while I'm on here.
You think so?
Or I need something to bring me back to reality and reduce my.
I gotta come back down here. Yeah.
Do you know what I was getting asked actually last night? So obviously, I know Ian used to play a bit of PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I've just started Twitch, and on there I was getting asked, like, they were like, you need to get the boys on here. Like, that's lot need to have Twitch. Bodybuilding the bottoms, Twitch.
Yeah.
I would do it. I suck.
This is what I said. I said, imagine if we weren't playing games, it'd be brilliant.
That's good. Sucking is good for Twitch. Like, you don't need to be a good gamer to Twitch. Because it's not
because it's fun to watch. Because it's just fun to watch. Yeah.
It's entertainment. It's just being shitty at things and you getting fucking mad and riled up. That would be good for Twitch.
Okay, well,
imagine his reactions to things on like Warzone. Oh.
This would be awesome.
Okay, well, James, you can send me everything I need to buy, and I'll go buy it, and I'll do it.
No problem.
Okay.
Oh,
I just bought myself for Black Friday. I bought myself an 86-inch TV. Fucking big boy.
Fucking hell, that's huge.
I got a 70. That's big. You got 86?
Yeah, I got an 86.
He's showing you up.
I got to buy 87.
You got it now.
And then we're going to put it on the podcast. And I can say, did you see my TV?
Yeah.
Did you see my 87 TV?
So what was yours? 86? Yours was 86?
86.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was just making sure you got that inch in there. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like.
Got it.
I couldn't even fit that in my fucking house.
Yeah.
Did you see Ben's deadlift? He went up 3 pounds from yours.
From mine?
No, from James. From James.
I
Because it's James's fault. Because Ben watched our podcast with James talking about how he did 722 because Ben did 720.
There's two things I'll say
so
here.
Ben came back and did 725.
One thing is Patrick told me off for that set I did.
Did he really?
He said, "You don't need to train like that right now, James. All seriousness."
Wow.
No, but I haven't been training like that. It was one set where I was like, you know what? Let's have a little laugh. And then Pat gave me a voice note, and it was like 5 minutes long. He's like, "James,
giving you shit.
We got to be fresh. We got to be fresh for next year, son."
Yeah.
And then on top of that, remember, right now I say this. Everyone's like, "Yeah, but James keeps telling everyone how he's on PCT. So you know, he's still strong. He's on PCT." Yeah. So everyone's taking a piss out of me because they're like, "PCT James, PCT James." So imagine when he's on gear again. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
like it makes a difference. It doesn't fucking make a difference if you're eating.
It doesn't make a difference.
Really? No, not
makes a difference.
My calories are my calories are higher now than they were 6 weeks ago. So the food's going to do more than the gear, in my opinion.
I will say this though, and you got to tell me this is you got to give me this. If you're going to bench 405, right, when you're on
benching is very different.
Okay, fine. Let's just say fine. Let's say
100% here.
No. I'm not saying you guys are wrong because you guys are way stronger than I am. So, let's take deadlift then. Fine, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to deadlift 700 pounds and then you're going to deadlift 700 pounds when you're off, would you at least give me that it feels better or feels a little bit smoother when you're on?
I would, yes.
I would, but then again, listen, the biggest thing that matters right there is where was your food on either one of those situations. If my food's lower when I'm on than when I'm off.
No, time out then. Let's say everything is the same.
If everything's the same when you're on.
For sure.
It's going to feel smoother, right? Because I know if when I'm on, weight, I might still be able to do the same weight, but it feels like shit when I'm on.
Oh, yeah, no, listen, 100%. So if everything's the same, there's no difference apart from your on cycle or off. When you're on, everything's going to feel better.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll do one more, and I'll let you guys go. Sorry, Ian, I've kept you too long.
That's good. This is taking up the time I would have been training and all my off day. This is perfect.
I figured that was helping you waste some time. So
yeah, this is great.
Well, that's what you should do. It should be on the rest day for Ian, isn't it? To help him out because he's so close to the show.
All right, well, that's what we'll do then.
Yeah.
Would you rather piss yourself every time you stand up or shit yourself every time you sit down?
Well, I pretty much lived the first half.
I was just going to say that. So
I do. I know it's bad, isn't it? But I practically do.
It's a fucking ordeal, man. Like you got to clean that. Piss is loud. It might dry. You'll just feel stinky.
I'd rather piss myself 100% without even thinking about it.
For sure.
I keep going to the toilet and wearing certain trousers that fold like that. Like it's almost like I've got my dick behind the fucking trousers, even though I haven't. And then I'm pissing down, and it's going all over the bathroom, and then I'm having to wipe up after myself. And Yannick like, you've pissed everywhere. And it's because I'm casual, so I'm not trying to I'm not watching myself piss, I'm just chilling. And it's only after I realise the trousers are fucked.
I thought you said you sit down when you're pissed.
No, I don't. I told you that's gay.
We had this conversation.
You told me you sit down when you piss.
I'll only sit down I don't even sit down and piss when I've got a boner.
Yeah, that's the conversation we were having. We have the boner pissing. Yeah.
No, James told me he sits down to piss.
No, that's bullshit. That's not me.
You're trying to throw him under the bus here. No, we're having the boner conversation.
Okay, wait a minute. You guys ever sit down to piss other than when you have a boner?
For pooing and pissing.
Huh? What?
For pooing and pissing, mate. When I want poo and piss.
But not just piss.
Not just piss.
If I get up at 4
in the middle of the night.
If I get up at 4 in the morning and I get a piss, I'll sit down,
I should because I piss all over the floor.
Yeah,
I'd say that's part of the reason why.
One time in 10 in the middle of the night, I'll sit down if I'm like really groggy. Every other time, I'll just stand.
Yeah. I'm always worried about pissing on the floor. That's my problem. So in the middle of the night, I usually sit down.
Because I don't even turn the light on, and I have to just listen and hope that I can hear water on water.
Yeah, you got.
If I hear water hitting anything other than
you got to read
liquid. Yeah, liquid's not hitting liquid. I know that I'm fucking up. I'm like, shit.
I know that. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you rather lose to the ability to lie or believe everything you're told? That's easy.
The ability to lie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They're both bad. I don't like either of them.
You don't lie anyway, James.
No, but you got to have a little white lie here and there just to protect yourself from some things out in this mean world.
But you also don't want to believe everything you're told.
No, Never.
No, that's ridiculous. You could get really mugged off.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be rewarded more at today's Olympia if conditioning is 100%? A physique like Jay Cutler or a physique like Flex Wheeler? I think that's obvious.
Wheeler. I think
Right?
Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
Cutler, right?
No, Flex Wheeler.
Condition spot on Flex Wheeler, I feel.
Oh, conditioning spot on Flex Wheeler. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because things have really swung the other way, right?
I don't know,
Yeah, they
man,
like
but Flex Wheeler was like 215 pounds. You think that would fly?
It depends. Are we talking about 2001 Jay Cutler?
Yeah, but 93
Best
Wheeler.
Jay Cutler and best in Flex Wheeler, you know?
I think best Jay Cutler beats best Flex Wheeler.
I agree.
That's such a hard statement to make because Flex Wheeler is so like loved.
Good.
But I think 2001 Jay Cutler is so
It was
impressive.
really, really good. Really, really good.
Like, 1 second here.
It's the way they had that. It was like the gloss on that 01 Olympia, like the fucking the sheen. The sheen looked so good.
Such a good look, yeah.
Yeah,
I
love that like look.
I know everybody goes on about 2009, but I think 2001.
Oh no, 2001 more streamlined, but also big.
This is my favorite Jay Cutler right here.
I don't even want to look at this because I got to take progress pictures later. I'm going to be fucking depressed when I take my pictures.
No.
Oh fuck, could have been Jay, but I wasn't.
Look at this. Look at this.
Fuck.
It is very good, very impressive.
You know, like look at this. Look at him here. This is fucking crazy,
His
man.
tan was so perfect.
Yeah, it was.
What the fuck did they use for tan back then? Like, what the fuck is this?
Isn't he? I thought he was a Jantana guy.
Yeah, but did they use a different? Like, this isn't just Jantana. This is something else they're doing here.
Yeah,
well, this is before the show. I don't know if this is in his hotel room.
Didn't they
looks
use
like what I know.
fucking Dermadry or some shit or like what the fuck was that stuff they had?
I don't know.
I do think they used to like mix a lot of different things.
Like that is the best tan I've ever seen in my life.
Look at
I really rate that
fucking physique, man. It's just
It's the
mind-boggling.
pinnacle. That is the absolute best.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is, yeah. It's just Coleman was just alien. That's the only thing that stopped it. It's just because Coleman's an
Coleman was
alien.
just literally an alien.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, look, yeah.
Look at the legs, like the way
Who
they
gets
shape.
back
That's
double
not
like
normal.
that? He's literally just standing, not even staggered, just wide apart, hitting a fucking ridiculous stance.
I know.
Back. Like how
Like,
much
the only shot for Coleman has been weak.
I think people really listening to this don't understand how much goddamn muscle you have to make that look good.
Oh,
to
you
not
mean
have to, like,
You're like
open up.
Fred
to,
fucking
to stand like
3 feet
this?
apart,
Yeah.
just in a
Yeah, to
fucking
not even have to tilt.
like that.
Yeah.
You have to have so much goddamn muscle or you look like an idiot, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
It's literally just fucked up, yeah.
But then,
We did. Flex Wheel had a nice amount of detail in his back. Just wasn't as big. But the detail in the back was really good.
like, then you look at this.
Yeah. That's the 93. That's the one. That's the best. That's the best wheeler.
And you look at this and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, but like,
It's 'cause the glutes were in.
Go to the most muscular third row down.
Look at this. Look at this fucking statue.
Like, go to the most muscular third row.
Third row here.
Yeah.
That's 2009.
Yeah, that,
Or sorry, 1999.
no, the one to the right of it, the crab I like.
Look at this.
Yeah, look at the crab. Oosh.
This is so deceiving though, because they put these pictures together. Ronnie weighs about 260 pounds here, and
Yeah,
Flex Wheeler weighs like 220 right here.
Yeah, Ronnie's like 2 foot back there.
Yeah. It's not, you can't do that. But the physique itself, like, this is incredible. Like,
Look
but
at
I do
that
think
muscular there for the grey on the 4th row down, second in.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
beautiful. But I do think, you know what? I don't know, Ian, if you're right. Like, I think Jay would really dwarf him in size, but like, you don't see this kind of, like, you don't see guys with this kind of quality nowadays.
It's the volume of the arms.
Yeah,
that's the volume of the arms.
But like, they overpower the chest a lot. I don't know. I would have a hard time seeing that beat Jay Cutler, you know?
Yeah, Jay's kind of got size everywhere, hasn't he?
I really have to see them next to each other. There's so
Yeah,
much,
it would
there's so much detail.
I mean, he could stand next to Dorian, so I mean, like, it's obviously possible, but I mean, it's
Yeah. But then Dorian still came out on top, didn't he?
he's a monster, man.
Well, that's the argument then. 2001 Jay Cutler or 93 Dorian. That's the big question, isn't it? Because that's really where we're going with this.
Someone put this up on their story.
Yeah, 93 Dorian versus 2001 Jay.
Yeah.
This is stretched out, obviously, but this is, I think 93. I think 93 Dorian was pretty fucking impressive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially from the fucking.
See, okay, this is what I'll say. So when I look at Jay Cutler, and I look at Dorian, I see two massive guys with, I don't want to say similar shape, but they're similar kind of bodybuilders. The reason I think Flex Wheeler could be Jay possibly is because of the way things are going nowadays.
Yeah,
yes, with like Brandon
and guys. Yeah, I see where you're going with it for sure.
It's not necessarily because I think that Flex is better than Jay.
Just can we look at this again? Bottom left there, how fucked up Ronnie Coleman is. Like, just look at that bottom left.
Yeah, the comparison. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Like, it's not. That's 93. It's not normal.
Dorian Yates has one of the most ridiculous back doubles of all time, and then there's just this. What is that?
That's why I think it's hilarious when like non-bodybuilding people say Dorian was better than Ronnie or anybody was better than Ronnie. I'm like,
there's no human that has ever been on this planet that could stand that back double.
I'm very interested to see the shot next to the abs and thigh. You know, where Dorian's arms are down just before he does his front lat spread. So down one.
What row?
Yeah, bottom row, and then go right one more, right one more.
Oh, this is 92.
Yeah, I like that.
I stole this from him. You know that?
He's lacking little belts and stuff back then, but I mean the look is so crisp. Yeah,
it's the condition for me. Yeah,
you see what he's doing? He's about to get into a front lat spread. I stole this from him, and I do it when I get into my front lat spread.
Because you know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing actually Dorian's got quite long arms.
Yeah, he does. It's but I just going back to this, like people really need to understand that they witnessed something like. Because even
what the fuck are those glutes, man? That's the craziest.
Like Phil has won 7 Olympias, going for 8, and I just don't think he compares.
No, not even close.
Like it's just Ronnie is a different person, like a different
breed of animal, man. It's completely in a whole different stratosphere than any other human. Yeah.
Look at this. This is dead on.
Insane.
Yeah.
Monstrous. It's monstrous. The silhouette. If you just saw the silhouette of all bodybuilders of all time that won the Olympia, Ronnie's would stand out by a mile every time.
Look at the difference in the arms. Look at the arm here.
The tricep hang, the peak on the bicep, the lat flare,
the conditions,
the glute, the hams, the depth of Ronnie Coleman's just that ham line that comes from the glute. Yes,
and then I find stuff like this funny because they put Phil next to Ronnie, and even though I think Phil is definitely in the conversation for top 3 best bodybuilders of all time, I still think you're
Ronnie's back is wider, more detailed, thicker.
No, I know, but
better his hamstrings, like it's just crazy.
No, I know, but the point I'm trying to make is when you look at them in 2D, yes, you can compare them, but when you see them in real life, it's not going to be like this, right?
Mate, if Ronnie walked out like on the stage next to Phil would probably look like his son.
Yeah.
And that's not disrespecting him. That's
like
just
it's not fair to do these photos like this because you're not seeing the depth of the size of the muscle. You're just seeing a 2D photo of what Ronnie looks like. You're not getting the full.
Fair, though. And the funny thing is, even then, Ronnie still looks like he's pissing there, winning by a mile. So imagine, like you say, with the actual seeing comparison. That front relaxed was 98, 99. Was really good.
It is.
He had his arms in the right place back then.
Yeah. They weren't up fucking inches too high.
Yeah, like his lats are just resting his arms on him.
Look at that. Look at the difference of this.
Crazy. Yeah. And Rolly's a big motherfucker. Like Rolly's the big guy now,
I also don't feel like this picture is totally accurate, but but it wouldn't be very far from this in real life.
Especially with because Ronnie's quads were so sweepy.
Look at Dexter next to Ronnie.
No, and Dexter's Mr. Olympia.
It's just insane to me how big he was.
That's the best Ronnie, that there.
Yeah, that's what I think is the best bodybuilder of all time. 98, 99, possibly 2001, Ronnie Coleman. That's the best bodybuilder of all time.
Yeah, 2001 Arnold was very good.
Yeah. But when you say 98 Ronnie, like look at nobody can say anything because look at the size. His waist is small.
Because the hips were small and the waist was small.
Yeah.
And the quads were sweepy, calves were big. Like I know that he had weird calves, but they're still big.
Everything is good.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're gonna see that shit again.
Cool.
I don't know about that. You think we'll never see it again?
I don't think so. Not us, because we're not going to live long enough to see it.
No. Maybe because bodybuilding is not. I think we could see it again if I don't feel like enough young people want to be fucking huge anymore.
I think.
Wait. Let me rephrase that. I think because there's men's physique and there's classic, guys don't achieve their full potential because they're staying in other classes.
Because there's other outlets.
Yeah, size potential. Yeah, like you say.
Yeah.
I think there will be another Coleman, but it's just going to take like a couple 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one Coleman's allowed to be born every 1,000 years, I think.
Yeah. That craziness. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go do your thing.
Right,
Ian, are you going to be available next week? Are you?
Yeah, I leave on Thursday, but we can work something out or whatever. We'll figure it out.
You leave next Thursday?
Yeah.
Let's try and plan a goodbye podcast.
Wednesday, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye. Take care, gentlemen. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.